is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! To left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the bag for one out, throws to first, and it is in time, a double play.
And that one is gone! Joe Hafner!
A high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a two-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his second season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Dave Peck.
Newport looks to find some consistent momentum as they face off against the Ocean State Waves in Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series here tonight. Dave Peck welcoming you to Cardines Field on Newport Daily News Night, where 250 free Gulls Kids t-shirts will be given away at the ballpark, courtesy of Newport Gulls Baseball. Newport coming into this game on a 2-game losing streak, most recently a 6-4 loss last night to the Keene Swamp Bats. It was a game where Newport was able to battle back 3 solo home runs, one by Jack Gethings, Cody Hosey, and Dalton Reed kept Newport in it, but 15 strikeouts limited the offensive opportunities for the Gulls. They'll come in and face an Ocean State Waves team that is 15-12, currently 3 games up on the Gulls for the final spot in the Southern Division playoff standings. The Waves coming off a 3-2 win over the New Bedford Bay Sox in last night's NECBL action, and the last time these two teams faced off, it was a 17-1 win for the Waves back here at Cardines Field on Monday night. Newport needs this one to try and put together a late run and a playoff run at that. It's the Gulls and the Waves on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Dave Peck alongside Newport Gulls field reporter Aram Layton and the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp. Aram, as always, we will start with you. 6-4 loss. It's been a tough stretch. We've talked about it time and time again. There were 3 home runs in the ballgame for Newport. They're third in the NECBL. It just doesn't seem to be going at the right time.
Well, of course. I mean, 3 home runs, usually you think you're going to win a ball game, but when you hit 3 home runs and you only score 4 runs, you got to look at what the issue is. And the issue is you strike out 15 times. You're not driving guys in. You're not manufacturing runs. You can't lean on the long ball when you're striking out that many times. And it's hard to win a ball game if you have 15 strikeouts.
Newport still with only 13 stolen bases on the season. They went up against a Swamp Bat team who had 84. That is first in the NECBL. And early on, they really took advantage of that. Does Newport have to change just because of the way their average has gone down?
Well, I think there's a reason why they haven't stolen much, because they don't have too much speed on this team. But it goes back to my previous point of manufacturing runs. You can't lean on the long ball, and if you're striking out at the rate you're striking out, they got to figure out a way to score more runs, whether it's stealing bases, bunting guys over, playing small ball. Something's got to change because they're not keeping up with the runs that these other teams are putting up.
They've been able to stay in ball game. It's just been 1 inning usually in each of the last couple of games. Sanford had that 6-run inning, and then Keene had a 4-run inning late in yesterday's game. What do they have to do to try and limit those?
It really just comes down to executing pitches. I think every single game somebody seems to be on, and then one guy comes in and he doesn't seem to have it, and it's battling through that. Sometimes you don't have your best stuff. You still got to execute pitches, and you can't let the big inning happen. I don't know if it's going to be a shorter leash from Coach Coombs on some of his guys and not letting them get into too bad of situations now that every game matters a little bit more as we get towards the end of the season. Whether it's a shorter leash or just guys learning how to battle out there when they don't have their best stuff, something's got to give.
All right, Jonah, we'll toss it over to you. Ocean State now with the first-ranked offense in the league, batting .296 as a team. They should be confident, rightfully so, coming in here after that 17-1 win on Monday night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was her best performance of the season as a whole. A couple guys didn't tally hits, but overall, the team as a total tallied 19 hits in the game, which is unprecedented, unbelievable. Since then, I mean, they've had a couple of good offensive performances. Only scored 3 runs last night, but that was a victory. So they're coming off a win, looking to build some momentum up.
Finding different ways to win. You mentioned just 3 runs. They scored 17 against Newport. What has been the key, maybe mindset-wise, at the plate?
Well, it's getting on base. I mean, the average is up there. It's the best in the NECBL. on-base percentage is up there with the best of the NECBL. They like to steal bases, tops in the Southern Division in stolen bases. I know that's not the mindset of Newport, but they're really polar opposites in that respect. Ocean State doesn't have a lot of power. They're second to last in the Southern Division in home runs this season, so they need to manufacture those runs by playing small ball, and that's exactly what this team does.
Ocean State is in the 3rd spot in the Southern Division standings, the last playoff spot, 3 games up on Newport, and they could be 4 after tonight. How big is it to come in here and try and get a win?
Oh my God, it's huge. I mean, Ocean State already has 3 wins against Newport on the season. If they win tonight, I mean, they take the series victory, which is huge against an in-state rival, not just a Southern Division rival.
Just 15 games left in this 2018 NECBL season with the playoff heating up here in the Southern Division. For Jonah Karp and Aram Lane, I'm Dave Peck. Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series is coming up next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the NECBL pregame show. I'm Dan Byford here alongside my fellow media intern, Joe DeLeon. Joe, you're doing the field reporter job today. I've had the pleasure of doing it before. What are you looking forward about today the most?
Well, this is one of my final opportunities being a field reporter for the Gulls, and it's coming to an end. As far as looking forward to it, though, it's just fun being in the booth. It's fun being around Dave and just seeing the things that he does and learning from him, learning from the away broadcasters. Jonah's a very, very great broadcaster, so I'm just kind of trying to pick up things from everybody else, try and learn and get the most out of this experience.
So you still have to do workouts with your football team every morning. What is the difficulty of balancing being a student athlete while also having an internship?
Well, right now over the summer, it's pretty tough. I have workouts at 6:30 in the mornings when I have to be there, so I wake up around 5:30, try and get everything settled, and run out of my dorm to go to workouts. And then the big thing that comes with that is I do have a little bit of time before I have to come to the internship, but the problem is I get out of here at like 10:30. So I'm getting back to URI, which is about a 30-minute drive, at around 11 o'clock. So on most nights, I'm only getting about 6 hours of sleep. So it is a bit of a grind, not getting enough sleep on the days that I need it the most. It's hard to get through a workout when you're really exhausted. It's hard to put out the results that you want in a workout when you're kind of pushing yourself to your limit. But it's just a matter of getting used to that and being mentally disciplined.
So as an NCAA athlete, do you find it easier to relate to the guys you're interviewing oftentimes?
Yeah, I definitely feel that I can understand where they're coming from. But the thing is, though, is baseball is a much different sport than football. They have a much different season. Their roster is much different. The guys that the way that they are and who they are is much different than the guys that I play with and who I am. So to an extent, I know what their schedules are like. I know that it's tough, that they have to still be doing team-related activities or sport-related activities in the summer. But at the same time, there's some differences between the two sports.
So what is it that you've enjoyed the most so far about your internship here with the Gulls, and also specifically about the role you're doing right now of field reporter?
Well, the one thing I've enjoyed is just getting to talk. I said this to you when we actually did a mock interview together, that I love the sound of my own voice. Not to sound narcissistic, but I love to talk, and albeit it's not as often as I would love to, I'm not obviously doing the play-by-play. I get to do an interview here and there. I just like to talk. I love to talk to people. I love to put my input here and there. It's fun to learn more and get more experience with broadcasting, which is inevitably what I want to do after graduation.
All right, fair enough. So a little bit of a curveball here for you. Of course, I did give you the benefit of knowing it was coming. Let's say Coach Coombs has gone through all his bench and needs to pinch hit for someone. It's 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, and you are the guy that gets called on to pinch hit out of the intern staff. What's your walk-up song?
Well, and I was telling you this earlier, I know this off the top of my head. I didn't really need to do any thinking about it, and you're going to be surprised when I say this, but it's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. And the reason why I say that, I think it would be kind of funny to go out there. Nobody would be expecting that. And then also the other end of that, if you're pitching to a guy that's walking out to that song of all songs, I'd be kind of worried about what they're hiding.
Fair enough. Thank you, Joe. The NECBL pregame show continues next.
All right.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Nick Bello here, and I have a special guest with me today, Trey Fischillo. Now, Trey, why are you here today, and can you tell us a little bit about your background?
So I'm a high school baseball player in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I play at the Advanced Math and Science Academy. It's a charter school in town. And I've been a member of the varsity program for 2 years now, and going into my sophomore year of high school. I'm good friends with a part owner of the Gulls. His name is Chris, and he let me come down today. Got to shag a few flies, take some BP. Really, just an awesome experience. Really grateful for it.
Now, Trey, what's it like? Because I've been here for a couple months now, and I haven't even been out there to shag balls or take BP. So what's that like?
Well, at first, I'm a catcher personally. I caught every game this year from my varsity team, so being in the outfield was a little uncomfortable at first, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I had a great time. Just being a baseball player. That's kind of what I felt. I felt good. These guys are great. A couple of them, came over, were talking to me, shaking my hand. Just really great atmosphere. I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
And Trey, so you've talked to the players. Have they tried giving you any tips? And could you share what those tips are?
So I was talking to a couple of the coaches, and they were talking about just keeping your hands through the ball, things like that. At first I was kind of going oppo a little in BP, and then turned on a few balls, which felt real good. But talking about just staying fluid, staying loose, that's how I've seen how they kind of roll around here, and I love it. It's a couple pointers. It was a great experience.
Now, Trey, last question for you today. Do you think the Gulls get a win tonight?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, awesome, Trey. Thank you. Enjoy your time here today, and the pregame show continues next on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the front office report. Dave Peck alongside Director of Baseball Operations, Mike Falcone. Mike, how are we doing today?
I'm good, Dave. How you doing today?
Beautiful day. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So about 2 weeks left in the season, if you can believe it. Do you find that the interns, yourself, the front office, have gotten into a rhythm, kind of what has to be done game day and on off days?
Oh, yeah, certainly. By this time, everybody's kind of figured out what they need to do pre-game, during game, post-game. I find myself getting to the ballpark maybe a couple minutes after I normally would in the beginning of the season, just because I know our banners are going to be placed this way, our gates are going to be set up in the way that they're supposed to be. So it's definitely getting easier as we go, but every game is a different monster in there.
What would you say is one of the biggest responsibilities that you have when Newport is on the road and you're back in the office?
On the road, it's really just preparing for those upcoming games. Next week being arguably the biggest week of the year, having our American Heroes, our Military Appreciation, and our Mark Weed Night. So it's really preparing for the next game, and then also trying to do the accounting and doing the financial aspect of the operation from games past, and take care of the sponsors and all those while we're on the road, because there's not. Now that we each feed the teams when they're here or when we go there, we used to have to find food and facilitate that, but now there's a reciprocal deal. So there's really not much except watching the game and enjoying some baseball.
Now, you mentioned a big promotional week next week. What are some of the things you mentioned them by name, but how important are they to the Gulls and the community of Newport?
Oh, these are nights that we've had for the duration of the time we've been in Newport here. American Heroes, which is honoring police, fire, and EMT, the people who sacrifice their time and dedicate their lives to helping the community day in and day out. Our Raytheon Military Appreciation Night is another tradition here in Newport. Being a naval community in itself, we have a ton of military connections, host families, interns, players' families, this, that, and the other thing. So it's our way of saying thank you to those people that have made, in some cases, the ultimate sacrifice. And then on Friday is, again, a tremendous night of magnitude as we honor the legacy of Mark Weed, who was, for those who don't know, the deceased husband of former Senate President Teresa Paiva Weed. And in his will, he actually wanted the Newport Gulls to send kids from the area to our summer camps on his behalf. So that's a scholarship program that's been running for about 10 years now, and it culminates in this one night where we bring down all the scholarship recipients. Teresa Paiva Weed and her family are here, members of Congress, members of the community are here to celebrate his legacy and all the great things that he's been able to do as a result of that scholarship fund. So moving forward, we have a ton going on, and then we
not to mention our People's Credit Union Fanatic About Reading on July 25th that we're also planning for. So only 2 weeks left, hard to believe, but there's still plenty of fun stuff going on, plenty of things to be excited for, not to mention being in the playoff hunt here, battling our in-state rivals.
Right, Newport just 3 games out, but if you're in the area, make sure you get to one of the games next week. So many things going on at the ballpark. Now from more of a roster standpoint, on behalf of the front office, you bring in a lot of guys before the season starts, and then it's customary that some have to leave for injury this reason, the next. From a front office standpoint, how do you guys kind of handle that situation?
Well, it is interesting, as you and I sat in the office the other day and saw 33 guys that we had originally signed. There's 13 here with us today. It's very reactionary, very spur of the moment. It really is based on who's available when. A lot of the local guys maybe coming back from being in other leagues, seeing when some of the other leagues finish up, and kind of who's still good to go at this point in the season. It's a long year for these guys. When you play college ball all spring long, then you get into the summer season, it's a grind. We lost some guys to injury. We lost some guys to nagging, things that maybe lated them in the spring. But for us, it's just keeping those connections going with college coaches, with summer coaches, and seeing kind of who's ready to come and take that next step and hopefully help us with this playoff push.
Newport still has some work to do. 15 games left in the regular season. For the Director of Baseball Operations, Mike Falcone, I'm Dave Peck. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Joe DeLeon, and standing with me is starting pitcher Josh Bates, who pitched the other night on Wednesday night. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. So, Josh, you've been in a couple tough situations this season, but you've also done a very good job of getting out of them. What has been your approach to dealing with these types of situations?
Well, when I'm in those situations, I like to take a deep breath and, realize what's going on and not really panic and be able to get out of the situation.
All right, so you happen to be on the same team as one of your teammates, which is Cody Hosey. How does that help you kind of get settled in, and also what's it like having to deal with him on a daily basis?
Well, getting here, knowing that you're going to have someone on your team, it's really warming, and dealing with on a daily basis is no issue. We get along real well, so.
All right, going back to Tulane, what has things been like for you at Tulane? Do you like it there, or are you looking forward to coming back next season?
Yeah, I love it there. Honestly, I can't wait to get back there. I love the city, and I love the school, so it's different than everywhere else, so.
All right, so there's about 14 games left. The season's slowly coming to a close. Looking back on it, though, how has your experience been in Newport, and what are some of the things that you look back on positively?
I've loved it. Ever since I've gotten here, I've heard great things coming here. My head coach told me it's a great place. I heard from Chuck. I heard from many people that it's a great place, and it's been nothing better than great.
All right, thank you, Josh. And the NECBL Broadcast Network pregame show continues after this.
Welcome back to the pregame show. It's time for the Managers Show. Dave Peck alongside Mike Coombs. Some choice words on the brim of Mike Coombs' hat. Comments?
Yeah, it's something that my mother said I should never, ever say. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
That's what it says. It's a team of excellence. It's a team of bonding and maintaining a social stand. That was a nice toss. Social standing. It's about the community. That's what we're all about. And right now, Newport Gulls are struggling on the field, still setting excellent examples off the field. But, what has to change here going forward?
We got to get more wins than losses.
Yep.
That bottom line. Yep. We've been our backs to the wall, but, with these other teams, they circle our name. And they want to get after us.
Yeah.
So our guys have just got to, we got to go out and play every day, play hard. We're down a few players, but hey, that's baseball. Everybody could be down a few players.
What team would you rather be compared to? The Yankees, the Patriots, the Pirates, or the Jets?
The team we have right now, the bad news.
He didn't complete it. I'm talking about franchise.
Oh, franchise. Patriots, of course.
Yes.
Patriots,
That's
yeah. I mean, it's just.
You get everyone's best.
Yeah, you get everyone's best. They go out there and they play hard. We played hard as heck last night.
Yeah.
We got out there. We pitched well. Smith pitched well. Jerry pitched well. Did anybody else pitch?
No, it's just Jerry. But let's talk about Jerry for a little bit. I mean, boy, since going to the bullpen, he's been lights out.
Yeah, Jerry shoved. We sat in the dugout, Winter Road and I, and just we looked at each other and go, must be a new guy we got out here, because he threw well, and we were excited for him. Yeah. Of course, Smith had 89 pitches and threw the ball well.
Yep.
So, and then we stroked it. We had 3 solo shots. 2 of them were out. The other one, if the fences would have been back, I don't know, his would have been out too.
Yeah.
He's got out quick, Hosey's.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
But if we're playing in a big ballpark, that might have been a double off the wall or a double in the gap. But Dalton Reed's?
Dalton Reed's was
smoked. That was out of any park,
yeah.
Any big league park.
Yeah.
And then Gethings put one together and torched his too. But we got nobody on base.
Right. 15 strikeouts. That's probably a big number that we got to cut down on, right?
We had 18 strikeouts the very first game of the season. So where are we going with that?
Yeah.
You got to put the ball in play. These big hacks, you got to slow them down a little bit.
All right. Well, only 3 games back here with still 15 games to play. We'll see what can happen here as the Gulls take on the Waves. For manager Mike Coombs, I'm Dave Peck. The Gulls and the Waves are up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Dave Peck and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
For the second time this week, Newport will host the rival Ocean State Waves in Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series. Hello, everybody. Dave Peck alongside Andre Olivier, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, and Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon. Newport coming into this game 13-16, tied for 4th with New Bedford Bay Sox, and 3 games back of the last playoff spot in the Southern Division standings. That is a spot that the Waves own. Ocean State 15-12. They are 3rd in the South, 3 games back on the Pilgrims and 3 games up on the Gulls. Newport coming off that 6-4 loss at Keene last night. They have now lost 2 straight. The struggles continue for the Gulls. It was Russ Smith who picked up the loss. 6 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, all of which were earned 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. But how about Jerry Burke out of the bullpen? Since he made the switch from starting to relief, he has been electric. 2 innings, no hits, no runs. And he kept Newport in it. It was an offensive day. There were 6 hits, 4 of which were for extra bases, including 3 solo home runs. Jack Gethings hit one along with Cody Hosey and Dalton Reed. Just 15 strikeouts, though limited the opportunities for Newport. Didn't have many runners on base, and that was part of the reason that they struggled. Also, a couple of untimely errors in the first that allowed Keene to really take advantage of them. And on the base paths as well, they were very aggressive. Keene leads the NECBL in stolen bases with 84, but Jonah, Ocean State is right behind them, and the last time that these 2 teams squared off, it was running all over Jay Geeter and Mike Kirian.
Boy, I mean, what can you say about that? To date, and it wasn't that long ago, but it is their best offensive performance of the season. 17 runs scored for Ocean State, 19 hits in the game. Ryan Ward, Garrett Hodges, Grant English, each went 4 for 6 in that game. Just an unbelievable offensive performance. And Jesse Slinger pitched 6 scoreless innings. I mean, what more can you say about that? Getting it done on the pitching end, getting it done on the offensive end. Couldn't have asked for a better performance.
The only run that Newport scored in that game was the RBI single by Jack Gethings, and it brought in Jack Blomgren, but it was way too little too late at that point, as Ocean State had clearly sealed up the victory. But their offense has been rolling. Newport's has struggled recently. Newport down to a 273 average. That is 4th in the NECBL, and it's been the opposite for Ocean State. 296. They've been going up, and they've won 4 out of their last 5.
Yeah, they've been awfully good, and it's not like they're scoring a whole lot of runs. Only 3 runs last night in the victory over New Bedford, a 3-2 victory at home. But they're 1st in batting average in the entire league, 296. 1st in the Southern Division with 54 stolen bases. 1st in the NECBL in on-base percentage. This is a team that knows how to get on base, and they figured out how to drive runs home, and that's been the key to their success.
One of the biggest things as well is 219 strikeouts. Sounds like a lot. Relatively speaking, that is the 3rd fewest in the NECBL. For the Gulls, they have struggled in that department, 277. That is 11th in the league, and part of the reason that they have struggled offensively is not getting guys on. You know, you have 3 home runs in the game, but they're all solo shots. That's not very efficient. Ocean State has done the opposite.
Yeah, I think you were talking about it in the pregame, too. 15 strikeouts on the part of Newport the other night. Yeah, that's not going to get the job done, but these two teams are polar opposites in their offensive approach. Newport, a team that loves to hit home runs and does that very well. That's how they drive runs home. Ocean State doesn't do that. They don't have a lot of home runs on the season. They're near the bottom of the NECBL in that department and in the Southern Division in that department. So they need to figure out other ways. They draw walks. They get on base. They get hits. Second in the Southern Division in walks this year. First in the Southern Division in hits this year. That's the recipe for success for this team.
We have home runs, 19 home runs. That's 9th for the Waves. And after 3 yesterday, 34, that is 3rd for the Gulls. But right now, the Gulls are chasing Ocean State, 3 games back for that final spot once again. We'll take a quick break and be right back for a look around the league. You're listening and watching Gulls and Waves Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. A rivalry as old as time. Ocean State, Newport here in the 5th installment of the Pell Bridge Series. Before we get to the action, we'll send it to Joe DeLeon for a look around the NECBL. Joe?
Thank you, Dave. We had 5 games that occurred last night, the first being the Ocean State Waves, which is the Gulls' opponent tonight, getting a 3-2 victory over the New Bedford Bay Sox. Keene got the best of the Gulls, as you previously alluded to, 6-4. And then the Sanford Mainers got a 9-4 victory over the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. The last 2 games that we have, the Mystic Schooners, hopefully I got that right this time, 6-3 victory over the Danbury Westerners. And then finally, the very hot Valley Blue Sox get the 2-1 dub against the Vermont Mountaineers. Now, as far as games going on today, there's a game that is actually a continuation of a previously started game. The Valley Blue Sox are tied 0-0 in the top of the 11th against the Sanford Mainers. The Keene Swamp Ants are already in the top of the 2nd against the Mystic Schooners, locked in at 0. Upper Valley Nighthawks hold a 3-0 lead already in the bottom of the 1st over the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. And then the games that are to be played eventually are the Valley Blue Sox against the Sanford Mainers at 6:30, the Plymouth Pilgrims taking on the North Adams Steeplecats, and then finally the Danbury Westerners will be facing the New Bedford Bay Sox. Quick breakdown of the standings and how things are looking across the league. The Valley Blue Sox, like I had said, are currently leading the Northern Division. 19-8 is their record. 3.5 games back is the Sanford Mainers, and then another 3.5 game back, tied with the Mainers, is the Keene Swamp Bats. And right behind them, with 4.5 games back, is the Upper Valley Nighthawks with a record of 15-13. Bottom of the division, as they've been most of the season, is still the Winnipesaukee Muskrats with the 8-21 record. As far as the Southern Division and the division that the Gulls are playing in, Plymouth Pilgrims still hold a lead at the top, 19-10 record. 2.5 games back behind them is the Mystic Schooners, and then right behind them is today's opponent, the Ocean State Waves. As far as the Gulls, they're second to last right now, just a game above the Danbury Westerners for last place within the league. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Joe. And you look at that Valley Blue Sox Sanford game right now in the top of the 11th inning, and Cooper Bradford is, dare we say it, in line for a no-hitter right now. 10 innings, no hits, no runs, 5 walks, and 12 strikeouts. I'm not sure we have seen a no-hitter, and I actually am almost positive we haven't seen a no-hitter so far in this NECBL season, Jonah.
Is it possible to jinx his no-hitter from a different ballpark?
And, you know, we know Mike Lord is going crazy right now. That's the last thing that he wants. But, you know, as you take a look around the league, you wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't bring up that there is a no-hitter happening in Sanford right now.
You have to. Last time we checked, he was at about 130 pitches.
Yeah, it's, you know, you got to imagine if he's gone 10 flat, he's probably going to keep going and try and close it out, especially because Valley has a 2-0 lead. It's Newport Daily News night here at the ballpark. 250 kids' T-shirts were given away at Cardines Field, courtesy of the Newport Gulls. As we have festivities happening on the field, a beautiful day for baseball. But the Gulls, right now, they have struggled. This is Game 6 of a 7-game stretch, and they started out with Ocean State. It was that 17-1 loss, so that's certainly not how you want to start out 7 games in 6 nights, but they did steal one at Plymouth in Game 2 of that doubleheader by a score of 4-3. It was a comeback win. It was Tim Tawa with the 2 RBI double, the go-ahead RBI that came in the top of the 7th inning of a 7-inning ball game to lift Newport, and that was very, very big for Southern Division standings, but also for confidence. Sanford game, that was one that was very close. Josh Bates, 3 1/3, just 1 run, and it was on a bases-loaded walk. But then big innings have been a problem for Newport. Sanford was able to put up 6 to extend their lead to 7-0. The only run that Newport scored was on a pass ball from Stevie Mangrum. And then we look at last night's game at Keene, and it was back and forth pretty much the entire time, but the 2 runs were scored. When Keene was pressuring Newport on the base pass, Logan Harvey threw one into center field. That allowed 2 run to score. And then later on in the inning, he threw one into center, and it got behind Tim Tawa, rolled all the way to the wall. So certainly don't like to see that, but the Gulls have been a little bit depleted in their lineup so far this season as they try to find some sort of cohesion. That's a problem that a lot of teams have, but Newport, 13 out of 33 left out of the original roster, that's a significant difference.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean State has had a similar problem with guys leaving left and right, and not many guys coming in. They've had 2 pitchers come in since the start of the season, one of them taking the mound tonight in Tommy Miller, and only 1 position player coming in recently, Quincy McAfee, who's been really, really good. But Eric Horde left, Liam Scaffarello left, Brian Mosky. All these guys are dropping left and right.
And the first pitch, one of 3 first pitches to be thrown on today's ball game, was by Mayor Fukui from the city of Shimoda, Shizuki, Japan. He's accompanied by Mayor Winthrop here in Newport, so a lot of nice festivities going on here on Newport Daily News Night. A nice pitch there from Breezy Griner. But the Gulls right now are 1-3 against the Ocean State Waves, and they're trying to slowly even things up. That's the best they can do. As we'll send it down to Mike Falcone, Director of Baseball Operations, for the Honor Guard and the playing of the National Anthem.
Here to perform tonight's national anthem is Lauren Garish. She's a contemporary artist from Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and a recent grad of UMass Amherst.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
Thank you again to the Newport Daily News, Mayor Fakui, and Lauren Gershis, as well as Providence Fire Department.
Another very nice national anthem sung tonight by Lauren Gersten, and the honor guard this evening at the ballpark was from the Providence Fire Department, and we're just about set for baseball. The Gulls huddling up as they usually do, so Jonah, we'll send it over to you for the visiting lineup for the Waves.
Leading off tonight is Quincy McAfee back at shortstop. Grant English over at first base. He's batting second. Colin Smith right behind him at second base. Ryan Ward out in center field and cleaning things up. Casey Dana in the 5-hole. He's at the hot corner. Garrett Hodges in the 6-hole. He's back in right field. Sonny Uliana playing behind the dish, and he's batting seventh. Michael Turner right behind him. He's a designated hitter. And wrapping up the batting order, Liam MacArthur out in left field.
Thank you, Jonah, and they will face off against Holden Powell. This is the second time that the Waves have seen Powell. Currently, he's got a 1-1 record, 6.56 earned run average. He's appeared in 3 games, started just 2, giving up 14 hits, 9 walks, and struck out 20 and 12 in 1/3 innings pitched. Last time against Ocean State, it was that 11-5 loss here at Cardines Field on June 29th. He went 3 1/3, gave up 4 runs, all of which were earned on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So he'll look to settle down. He did have a great outing at Danbury in that 9-7 win. 5 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 4 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So last time he was on the hill, he was very sharp, and he had his off-speed working. A lot of Westerners went down swinging in that ball game. He was also able to work through jam after jam. It's something that we've talked about consistently here for the Gulls, and we'll see if he can maybe make it a little easier today as Newport takes the field. The Gulls are coached by Mike Coombs. Ocean State managed by James Sorrow. Get to the umpire crew. Dave Bailey behind the plate. First base is Will Bowers tonight, and Ben Robluski is the ump at third. The Newport lineup this evening. Not too many changes, not too many guys to go to. Tim Tawa leading things off out in center field. The second baseman, Jack Gethings, bats second out of Fairfield. Cody Hosey, the designated hitter this evening, he bats third, followed by Stevie Mangrum, who's out in right field from Virginia Tech. Dalton Reed at first out of Seminole State and the University of Kentucky, he bats fifth. Batting sixth is Logan Harvey, the catcher from Wake Forest. Dylan Plews in left, batting seventh from Washington State, followed by Jason Gonzalez, who's at the hot corner from Vanderbilt. And Jack Lundgren, the shortstop from Michigan, rounds out the lineup for the Newport Gulls, and they will face off in the bottom of the frame against Thomas Miller. We'll get you his stats in just a few minutes, but a beautiful day here at Cardines Field. Can't ask for anything better. It's been very nice as of late. 70 degrees, 0% chance of precipitation, 64% humidity with winds 11 miles per hour. As you see it on your screen there, just a few clouds, but just enough to give you some perspective, really. It's almost a painting there you see on your screen. And the winds are gusting out to left field as they usually do from the southeast here in the city by the sea. Newport wearing their Friday home tops in orange with the white pants, blue and orange piping down the side. And the visiting Ocean State Waves with their away uniforms as usual. Dark navy blue tops with great pants, navy blue piping down the side with Waves written in that nice powder blue across the chest, numbers underneath with the numbers on the back. Dimensions here at Cardines Field. And it's always interesting, Jonah. You know, we saw a couple of times where some bizarre plays were made in the last time these two teams faced off. Left field is 315, 365 to left center. And out in dead center field, it's 395. Comes back into 315 in right center field. You see there on your screen the overhead view. And then right field, 285, so a short porch. Fence is 28 feet high all the way around with the wind blowing out to left. You may see some balls carrying so far, and we have so far rather this season for the Gulls, 34 home runs, and when they've been at home, 18 long balls at Cardines Field. Powell finishing up his warm-up pitches, and it'll be Tawa out of Stanford, and he's been doing a good job this past season at Stanford. He made a huge impact in his freshman campaign, 296 average. That was third on the team. But it will be Quincy McAfee here to face Holden Powell. And McAfee, a guy so far this season, batting .295, 13 hits, 3 doubles, a home run, and 6 RBI. So comparable stats to the Newport leadoff man, who will take the play in the bottom of the frame. First pitch from Powell is a changeup that misses outside for ball 1.
McAfee went 1 for 4 last night in the victory over New Bedford. Doubled and then came around to score on a big Grant English 2-run homer.
First pitch, 6:43 here on the Eastern Seaboard, as that one is a broken bat number down the first base line. It'll get foul. And the count will move to 1 ball and 1 strike. Defensive alignment here for the Newport Gulls. Jason Gonzalez at third. Jack Blumgren is the shortstop with Jack Gethings at second. First baseman is Dolan Reed, and then outfield left to right, Dylan Plew, Tim Tawa, and Stevie Mangrum, with Logan Harvey catching the balls and strikes for Holden Powell. Cody Hosey is the designated hitter this evening. They try to cut the lead to 2 in the Southern Division standings, and this would be a big win for really both teams here. They've played 4 so far. Ocean State leads the head-to-head 3-1. They'll play 1 more on July 21st, and that will be at Old Mountain Field. McAfee with the new bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Nice curveball, catches the outside corner for strike 2. Low and outside pitch, that's what he had working against Danbury.
Dave, I think it's worth noting that the last time these two teams met, back on Monday, the Waves put out a virtually identical lineup.
Here's the 1-2, breaking ball, waved and missed for strike 3. So Powell picks up right where he left off and gets his first K of the ball game. There's one down here in the top of the first. 2, breaking ball, waved and missed for strike 3. So if you win 17-1.
Boy, that's a good-looking breaking ball off the hand of Powell. But yeah, the only difference is that Dylan Resk was batting 7th in that game. Sonny Uliano, who was batting 8th, moves up to the 7th spot, and Michael Turner batting 8th. The only difference, and the field is the same.
It is Grant English who digs into the left-handed batter's box here for the first time. Powell winds and deals. First pitch line, sharply down the left field line, but foul and into the bullpen. Not too much room here on either side. In foul territory, also way down the left field line. Teams sharing the same bullpen. Get pretty cozy down there. 0-1, line drive down the left field line again. This one slices foul once more. So quickly down 0-2, but he's put a couple of good swings on it.
English laid on a couple of them.
English batting .327, 32 hits, 7 doubles, 3 home runs. Here's the 0-2, breaking ball. That one just misses high to move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
English hit his 3rd home run of the season last night. Trying to claw his way back among the team leaders. Garrett Hodges in the lead with 5.
The 1-2, breaking ball misses outside. It was close, but a nice take there from English. He's basically number 2 on the team in many offensive categories behind Hodges. Here's the break-even offering, fastball outside. So English is able to work all the way back, and he's got himself a full count. Still no score here, top of the first inning. Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp. Nobody on, 1 down. Powell winds and deals. 3-2, chopped foul towards the Newport dugout. We'll reset and do it again. Both dugouts on the same side. Newport's closer to home, with Ocean State's closer to first. Nice crowd here on Newport Daily News Night, and why not? Beautiful night for baseball. 3-2 pitch, fastball, waved and missed for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Holden Powell, and there are 2 down.
Well, as good as his curveball and all his breaking pitches have looked, his fastballs looked equally as impressive, especially when he locates it like that.
Exactly. He's done it a different way now with 2 strikeouts swinging. That's a good sign here for a guy that struggled his first time against the Waves. Here's Cullen Smith. First pitch, that one launched deep to right center field, and Tawa doesn't even give it a chase. That one is long gone. A solo shot for Cullen Smith, and that gives Ocean State a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. And for Smith, that is his 2nd home run on the season.
And that was a no-doubter right off the bat. That's his first home run in quite some time, since the middle of June. June 21st against Newport was the last time he hit a home run.
And in that game, I believe he started off the ball game against Jerry Burke going deep at Old Mountain Field. He was the first batter in the bottom of the first inning. This time he hits it well over the fence there. It juts in right center, but he could have hit it down 395 and it would have been done. First pitch curveball misses inside to Ryan Ward. So Newport with 3 solo home runs of their own in yesterday's game. Now quickly Ocean State breaks this 0-0 tie. That one lifted left side. Dylan Plew in left field backpedaling. Settles under it and makes the catch for out number 3. But Cullen Smith gets his second home run of the season. It's 1-0 Ocean State on top as we head to the home half of the first. You're listening to Newport Gulls baseball right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. One to nothing, Ocean State strikes first. And Newport down early 1-0 as they come to the plate for the first time, and they will face off against Thomas Miller, the tall lefty out of Siena College.
Thomas Miller this season with a 4.22 ERA through 10 2/3, 12 strikeouts and just 5 walks, making his 4th appearance. The big key stat on Miller is that righties are batting .353 against him. Lefties have not recorded a single hit off of Thomas Miller this season.
See what Newport's lineup can do so far this season against left-handed pitching. They're batting .240. That is compared to a .286 clip when righties are on the mound. And there are just 3 lefties in the lineup here tonight for the Gulls. As Tim Tawa digs in, we talked a little bit about him at the top of the broadcast, how good he has been lately for a Newport team that overall has struggled, but Tawa has been good. Batting .421 in the last 5 games. The first pitch misses outside for ball 1. 8 hits, 1 run, a home run, 4 RBI in 19 at-bats. Really the spark in a tough time. 1-0 pitch misses low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Tommy Miller, a rising senior at Siena this past season, pitched over 102 innings.
2-0 lined off of Miller, and it ricochets towards the third baseman. Dana, who scoops it up, throws it to first. It's not going to be in time, but Miller is hurt. It looked like it was right off his left arm, and that's not a good thing.
Trying to shake it off now.
Yeah, trainer's coming out. That one was laced right at him, and it looked like it ricocheted off his left elbow. Obviously, as a left-handed pitcher, that is trouble. Yeah, right in the left elbow. He went down immediately. Nice job by Dana trying to complete the play, but the entire infield will come in, and that's a scary moment there.
Yeah. Well, we hope everything's okay.
Tim Tawa going over there to talk things over just with Uliana and make sure everything's okay. You never want to see that, especially when it's in, that part.
And it's his throwing arm, too.
On your throwing arm. It's one thing if it ricochets maybe off the glove or maybe a thigh where, it's a little less delicate, but boy, is that scary. We'll take a quick break and hope for the best here in the bottom of the first inning. So it looks like things are going to be okay here as Thomas Miller takes a few warm-up pitches, and he gets a round of applause from the Cardines faithful. Tim Tawa giving him a little bit of a fist bump there. But he's ready to go. A tough guy, as a senior from Siena. He's thrown some innings. He's got some grit, and he's showing it here as Jack Gethings digs in for the first time today. So 1-0, bottom of the first inning. Still nobody out. Tim Tawa singled to lead off the ball game for the Gulls. First pitch is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for strike 1.
When Tommy Miller was throwing his warm-up pitches to see if he was ready to go, the thing I was watching for is if he was wincing at all, making any facial movements.
As he goes to first to try and pick off Tawa, and Tawa is able to reach as the throw goes behind English and all the way to the fence there behind first base. He's going first move lefty, and he may have been safe anyways if the throw is accurate, but a nice job there. Newport being aggressive. Yeah, it just went under his glove a little bit.
Yeah, he got a great jump off of that, and Tommy Miller late recognizing that. But like I was saying, I mean, Tommy Miller showed no signs of any sort of injury wasn't wincing at all. So that's a good sign.
0-1 pitch, breaking ball, chop foul down the first baseline. And ground ball to the right side isn't the worst thing for the lefty Gethings. It would get Tawa to third with assumedly just one out. Talk about small ball. That's something that Newport hasn't necessarily done the entire season, but has started to a little bit more. Tawa especially a guy who's been running for Newport. Here's the 0-2. That one lined softly into left field. Now we get right out of the reach of the shortstop, McAfee. MacArthur's able to field it and throw it into Dana, but Newport has runners on the corners now with nobody out.
McAfee was slow to get up after that, but he looks like he's fine. No trainers are coming out. Good job by MacArthur backing that up. McAfee made a heck of a Superman dive to try to go get it.
Yeah, it wasn't struck too well, but he was able to just put it over McAfee's glove as he dove out to his right and into shallow left field. But Newport now with an opportunity. Tawa on third, Gethings on first, still nobody out. Here's Cody Hosey. First pitch catches the low and outside corner for strike one. And Hosey is first on the team with 31 hits, second on the Gulls with 21 runs. He also has 14 walks, which is first on his squad.
And that little blooper into left field is the first hit from a left-handed batter against Tommy Miller.
0-1, breaking ball chased upstairs. So Hosey quickly behind 0-2 now. Yesterday's game, he was 1 for 4 with that solo home run. It came in the top of the fourth inning. Opportunity for another RBI. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball chased upstairs for strike three. So Hosey goes down on 3 pitches, and there's one down in the first.
Boy, that's a good location. And a good sign from Tommy Miller, too. To the left-handed batter, he was throwing a lot of pitches inside, which, when you're fatigued as a lefty pitcher, you miss a lot of the times arm side up or arm side in general. And so the inside pitches, easy for a left-handed batter, but if you're leaving them over the outer corner of the plate to a right-handed batter, you can get burned. A good job there.
So here comes Stevie Mangrum. Struck out a couple of times. Did have a single in his last at-bat yesterday. First pitch swinging and ripped down the third base line in foul territory. And Greg Grawl over there coaching third. He didn't even flinch. It was hit very hard about 3 feet to his right. And he's comfortable over there. Mangrum batting .333 so far this season. Miller goes to check on Gethings. He's also the biggest home run threat for the Gulls. He's got 8. That is tied for third in the NECBL. He's second on the team with 27 hits. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gethings is off. The throw down to second from Uliana is not going to be in time. And some frustration there as Uliana was upset Smith didn't even try and tag him at second. That'll be a stolen base. Tawa had to remain at third, but now runners on second and third with one out for Stevie Mangrum, who is first on the team with 19 RBI.
That throw is well shy of the second base bag. Smith had to come in to go get it.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It misses high for ball 2. Yeah, Uliana was frustrated. You saw him throw his hands up, but it was in front of second. It would have been a tough play.
That's also a dangerous throw from Sonny Uliana with a runner on third base. The Waves have gotten burned a number of times.
It looked like they weren't on the same page, Maybe he
Yeah.
was trying to cut it off as the 2-1 is waved and missed for strike 2. Looking like Smith was thinking maybe they'll run in and cut it off so that Tawa doesn't advance from third. But the way Uliana threw it and reacted, he was trying to get Gethings at second. Nonetheless, there are 2 runners in scoring position with 1 down. Here's the 2-2 from Miller, and it's cut on and missed for strike 3, so he gets Mangrum swinging. Back-to-back Ks. And 2 big ones at that. There are 2 away.
Tommy Miller looking rock solid. Now up to 14 strikeouts on the year. That's been his biggest success department is the strikeout to walk ratio, 12 and 10 2/3 entering the game. The ERA hadn't been too good.
Here's Dalton Reed. First pitch, nice curveball, drops in for strike 1. Newport, 15 strikeouts in yesterday's outing. That has been a problem for the Gulls, especially as they had runners on the corners with nobody out. Here's the 0-1. It's another breaking ball. Now 0-2.
I'm curious to see, Dave, how long Tommy Miller lasts in this game. Like I mentioned, throwing over 102 innings this past season at Siena, hasn't gone more than 5.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one lined sharply into left field. MacArthur moving to his right is able to make the play and keep Newport off the board. So a nice first inning there from Thomas Miller. And it's 1-0 Waves as we head to the top of the second inning right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the second inning. Thomas Miller able to work through a jam as Tawa led off with a single. Gethings with a single of his own. Not only did he work through runners on second and third with nobody out, but he worked through a line drive right off his throwing elbow.
Yeah, off the first pitch of the game, or one of the first pitches of the game. Boy, an awfully scary moment early in that inning, and was able to get out of it, work some magic.
Also considering the amount of innings that he threw for Siena.
You know, I would say that could be the most impressive thing we're going to see all night, but with what happened in the Valley game,
is it official?
It's official. A 4-0 Valley victory in 11 innings. Cooper Bradford tossing an 11-inning no-hitter.
Wow. That's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever heard of an extra inning no-hitter, as that one is chopped foul down the third base line off the bat of Casey Dana.
But what makes that even more incredible, that was only supposed to be a 7-inning game. That was game 1 of a doubleheader.
Now they got it reset.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. I mean, he's going to be having a good time, feeling good about himself in game 2, as they should. I mean, Valley has just been rolling. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Curveball lifted deep to center field. Tawa loses it as it lands in front of him, so it died off the bat. And he was just kind of jogging there, maybe misread it a little bit, but nonetheless, it's a leadoff single for Dana. Looked like it had the lift for Tawa maybe to have a play on it. And yeah, see, look, he goes back and then starts coming in, and it drops well in front. So Dana is on. Here's Garrett Hodges for the first time, batting from the left side. First pitch from Powell's, breaking ball that misses low.
You know, Dave, Bradford also threw 5 walks in that game. He struck out 13, which is very impressive. He ended up throwing 150 pitches.
Just wonder what his arm's going to be feeling like. Quick check on Dana at first.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just one of those guys that has a rubber arm and never wants to come out of a game. You know, we don't necessarily know. There are guys like that would just keep going all day and never really have a sore arm. But 5 walks over 11 innings,
it's great.
That's great. That's not bad at all. How many strikeouts did he have?
13.
Yeah, there you go. 1 ball and no strikes here to Hodges. Here's the pitch, and it's lifted foul down the left field line.
Bradford's only going to be a junior next year, so he still has 2 more years of college baseball to play.
Well, it certainly showed the coach something. Not only that he has the stuff, but also, you know, the mental wherewithal to be able to compete at that level, and there's a lot of pressure that goes into maintaining a no-hitter as well, especially when it's supposed to be 7. You're able to keep it going through 11. Another check on Dana. This one a little closer, but still is able to dive back safely. Shadows creeping across from left to right. About halfway through the pitcher and the hitter as the 1-1 runs inside for ball 2.
Well, the aforementioned Garrett Hodges, who leads the Ocean State Waves in virtually every single offensive category. A .375 batting average on the season, which is tied for third with Brandon Smith of the Keene Swamp Bats.
Here's the 2-1 offering. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop there from Harvey. But they kind of moved to 3-1.
Batting average, hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs, runs scored, also strikeouts. Every single category Garrett Hodges leads the Waves in.
You take that. You take 5-1, I think. I certainly would. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Powell. Fastball chopped right side. Gethings can't get it. It's off his glove. Rolls into center field. Had a lot of topspin, but could have been 2. That will be an error for Jack Gethings. And now runners on first and second. Still nobody out. We talk about miscues for Newport, and there's one early on.
Boy, that's a tough error to take. A weird hop, and it's just off his glove. Let's look at the replay.
Yeah. It kind of skipped up.
Boy, that's a tough error.
But, I do think he should have had that one. Newport coming into this game, 43 errors. That was tied for 8th in the NECBL. That being their 44th. Here's Sonny Uliana. Local guy, junior at URI. Lays off the first pitch curveball for ball 1. It's just been, that kind of stretch for Newport. 1-4 so far in this 7-game week. 1-0. Newport behind in the top of the second. And Uliana calls time as Powell holds the ball, and it took a long look at Dana at second. There have been signs of Newport being able to succeed. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Now Harvey's going to come out and talk to Powell. But we do have a packed crowd at Cardines Field, and why not? Beautiful Friday evening.
My mom's in attendance.
She is?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. My parents are not, but they could be listening right now. Listen to most games. 1 ball and no strikes here to Uliana. Powell from the stretch. Fastball misses low. He struck out McAfee, struck out English, and gave up the solo home run to Smith before getting Ryan Ward to fly out to left field back in the first inning. That's the only score of the ball game. 2-0 pitch, lifted foul behind home plate, and out of play.
Sonny Uliana has had so many highlights this season for Ocean State. He's had 3 game-winning hits. He's been a really key part of this team, but he's been sitting on that 2-home-run plateau since the second game of the season.
2-1, hit hard on the ground. Blumgren, the shortstop, goes to second for 1. The relay from Gethings is in time, so a 6-4-3 double play puts 2 outs on the board for Newport. Dana does advance to third, but there you go. They don't mess it up the second time.
The designated hitter.
That's big there for Powell.
Michael Turner, of Kent State University and
A guy who had a great outing against Danbury, but he had to work for it. Now has 2 outs with a runner on third for Michael Turner. First pitch breaking ball catches the inside part for strike 1.
Turner, the only addition to this Waves lineup that wasn't in the lineup back on Monday.
0-1 misses just outside, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Turner bats from the left side. The designated hitter in today's ball game. Opportunity for an RBI with 2 outs. Dana standing on third. Here's the 1-1, and it misses high.
The reason he wasn't in the lineup on Monday was because he was in an enormous slump, but he's really picked that up over his last 5 games. 6 for his last 15, which is a .400 batting average.
Batting .294. Runners in scoring position, 2 outs as he waves through that slider for strike 2.
And the Waves have, as a team over the last 5 games, batting .311.
Newport has not had as much success. Their average is well below that mark and well below 200 now, 196. 2-2 pitch. This one hit deep to center field. Tawa going back, tracking to his right at the fence, and he's able to make the play for out number 3. Tawa going all the way there in front of the ivy is able to end the inning and keep this ball game a 1-0 score as we head to the bottom of the second. Newport due up right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 your score. Ocean State on top after the solo home run from Cullen Smith in the top of the first inning. It'll be Harvey, Plew, and Gonzalez, the 6, 7, and 8 part of the Newport lineup, here to face Miller for the first time. Harvey from the right side takes a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Miller from the windup. 0-1 misses high. So far on the season, Harvey is batting .227. He does have 16 RBI, along with 14 walks. 1-1 pitch, slow chopper, shortstop McAfee coming in on. It's got to make the play on the run. The throw across the body is in time. Nice play there from Quincy McAfee. 1 down in the inning.
Boy, it doesn't get much better than that. Slow roller to the shortstop, and he had to really charge on that one, playing it on the infield grass. Just scooped it up with the glove. Oh, maybe just behind the grass. But boy, that was an impressive play from Quincy McAfee.
And he got him by a good step, maybe a step and a half there. Harvey not the fastest guy, but doing his best to try and beat it out. Better play by McAfee. That'll bring up Dylan Plew. From the left side, first pitch slider taken for strike 1 on the low and outside corner. That's just a tough pitch in a lefty-lefty matchup. 0-1. Another slider, that one chopped high down the first base line. Picking it up is Miller, and he'll just tag out Plew for out number 2 there. So he does it himself, and he gets him with back-to-back breaking balls.
Miller not afraid to throw the ball inside to left-handed batters. We've seen it with each left-handed batter that has stepped into the box tonight. Miller really locating his pitches very well tonight. Well, let's hope that continues for his sake.
He's done well besides the couple of singles, and he was able to work through them with a couple of strikeouts to arguably the 2 best hitters on this team, Hosey and Mangrum. Jason Gonzalez swings at the first pitch and lines it through the hole into left field. So a 2-out single for Gonzalez. That's his 4th hit of the season. The guy's been struggling. That's good to see.
Each of the hits tonight, and there have been 3 so far on Tommy Miller, have been hit on a line. One was off of Tommy Miller. One was a little bit of a blooper into left field. But nothing hit so hard off of Miller, doing a good job of keeping the ball down.
That one he didn't waste any time. He saw a pitch he liked and just jumped on it. It was tailing away from McAfee, so no play. Here's Jack Blumgren for the first time. Takes a first pitch change up low for ball 1. 1-0 here, bottom of the 2nd inning. A big game between Pellbridge rivals as that one is hit sharply on the ground left side. Dana can't get it at third. It rolls all the way into left. MacArthur plays it and throws it into third, but Gonzalez is there safely, and that will be a double for Jack Blumgren. Runners now on 2nd and 3rd with 2 down. So a little rally here for Newport.
Similar pitches and similar results. This one just under the glove of Casey Dana, who had it almost played perfectly. He was off the bag at third base. It just skipped under his glove. A little late getting to it.
So here's Tim Tawa, leadoff man, and this is the guy you want at the plate. Batting over 400 in his last 5 games. Newport as a team, .223 average with runners in scoring position, 2 outs. First pitch hammered deep to left field. MacArthur going back. He looks up, and that one is out of here. A 3-run shot for Tim Tawa, and Newport takes a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd for Tawa. That is his 2nd home run, or 3rd home run on the season, and boy, was that a shot.
Well, we've seen 2 of them now tonight. One on the part of the Ocean State Waves off the bat of Cullen Smith, now off the bat of Tim Tawa. Each one no doubters. And boy, that hurts if you're Tommy Miller.
So home runs have been the story for Newport lately. This time they finally get one with runners on base. That one was cranked. MacArthur could only look up. All of this coming with 2 outs. Jack Gethings takes a first pitch in there for strike 1 in the inside corner. So Harvey led off with the ground out to McAfee on the nice play. Then Plew grounded out to Miller. That one is fouled into the netting behind home plate. Gonzalez with the single, ripped down the left field line, played by MacArthur, and then Blumgren with a similar play, even more down the left field line. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Popped up, foul down the third base line, out of play. So Tim Tawa continues his hot streak. Puts Newport on top. Here's the 0-2. Waved and missed on the breaking ball to retire the side. But the Stanford Cardinal gives Newport the lead with a 3-1 advantage as we head to the top of the 3rd. here in Newport, Rhode Island. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to Newport Gulls baseball right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 3-1, Newport takes the lead as we head to the top of the third inning. Dave Peck alongside Andre Olivier, Newport Gulls scorekeeper, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp. And now I am joined, and it's a special occasion here. We have Newport Gull, Arizona State Sun Devil, Zach Hogeson. He settles in here. Powell still on the mound. It'll be MacArthur, McAfee, and English. So, Zach, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty well. How about you?
We're doing great, especially after that Tawa home run.
Oh, yeah, that was big for us right there. You got a good pitch and put a good swing on it.
First pitch misses low to MacArthur, so 1 ball and no strikes. And pretty much everybody in the ball club knew that was gone as soon as it was off the bat.
Yeah, he hit that ball pretty well. We knew it was out.
1-0, nice pitch, catches the low corner for strike 1. So Hoagie played a lot of center field. You played some left, and you've been able to navigate the Cardines' dimensions pretty well, as that one is slapped down the left field line, slicing foul to get into the bullpen.
Yeah.
Is it hard? Was there a lot of adjustments that had to be made when you were out there?
Yeah, it was different when I first got out here for sure. Grawley worked with us in the outfield when we first got out here the first few days before the games, hitting balls in the gaps and whatnot, getting used to the weird dimensions and everything that comes along with Cardines. But
not only dimensions, I mean, you have water grates there as one is hit into shallow left field. Plouffe coming in on it as Blumren goes back. Diving is Plouffe, and it gets under his glove. Now headed for second is MacArthur, but he'll slam on the brakes. Nice throw in to Gethings there.
Yeah, so, as you said, it's a little different. You got the stuff coming through the fences. You got all the stuff out there. You got the banners to deal with. Left field plays pretty. There's a lot of room out there with the bullpen being down there. It's where right you got a building kind of cutting it off.
You haven't played any right so far this year.
I haven't.
Probably fortunate because that's arguably tougher. There's a stone, there's a brick wall there. That's the right field line.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Stevie's done a good job getting used to it and handling it pretty well though, so it hasn't been too much of an issue. It's definitely getting used to the grates in the ground. I used them almost as landmarks while I was out there.
Right.
With different hitters, knowing pull side, opposite side, whatever you got to play, using it as a landmark if I'm too deep, too shallow.
First pitch to McAfee is fouled.
Good pitch there.
Third baseline.
Yeah, so I use them as landmarks. You got a little bigger guy, you can go up closer to it. If you got a guy who's going to slap a little more, I'd play shallow on it and kind of use it to your advantage a little bit, and then move the left field a little bit lately and just getting used to that. A little bit running room. Got the bullpen to help you out a little bit on the fence calls, so that's nice.
One of the times I talked to you, you were talking about the angles coming off the fence out there. It comes way in right center field. You got to play it, and there's one panel that actually goes right back off the ricochet, but you got to really work your geometry there.
Yeah.
0-1 misses low and outside.
Yeah. Pretty much how we'd play it was if it looked like it was going to hook right, Stevie would play deep because it shoots pretty far back in the right center. It's pretty sneaky deep too.
Yeah.
I'd put Stevie on the right side of it, so where that huge pole is, I'd just make sure he's on the right of it, so if it ricocheted over, he was there to cover it.
1-1 pitch, breaking ball misses low and outside.
And I'd play on the left side of it, because if it's going to kick there, it's going to kick all the way to the center field wall, and if he happens to hit the one panel and it bounces straight back, good for him, and it's a race to the ball, and hopefully we can throw him out at the base. But you just kind of take that chance of it ricocheting one way or the other, and it's the same way with the poles. It could hit one funny and come off left or right.
There's the 2-1 fastball on the inside corner, taken for strike 2. Nice pitch there from Powell.
I think he ran back. But, so you just kind of played it and hoped it wouldn't hit the flat part. And luckily we haven't had too many this year that would. But if you just play the deep angles, we found that more beneficial and giving him a possible triple if it rolls all the way to the deep parts of the field.
Powell sets the glove. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one lifted deep to right center field. Tawa going back, looking up, and that one is off the light post. Mangrum has to field it right in front of that corner. It's MacArthur being waved around third. The throw will be cut off, and that's an RBI double there for Quincy McAfee. So right away, I mean, they had to try and play that, and you don't see it hit off the light post there. That's another thing you got to deal with.
Haven't had too many of those this year, but same idea there. I mean, Stevie's back. You can see Tawa was in front of it there. So if it was going to kick to the left, you had Tawa there, and to the right, you had Stevie. So he was ready to play that deep into that hole, and that's where you play it. I mean, haven't had too many off that light pole. Usually in that right center gap, it's going to get out. It's pretty shallow there. So if you get enough flight on it, it'll go.
So 3-2 now. Ocean State getting to within 1. Still nobody out. With McAfee on second as English fouls this one down the third base line out of play. You know, McAfee right there, nice demonstration of how to play.
Yeah, Stevie was right on cue.
I mean, unbelievable.
Couldn't plan that out too much better.
Haven't seen anybody hit the Island Tax Associates sign out there.
No,
the
not
target.
this year. Not this year. I think we had one off the O'Brien's Pub, but that's about it.
May have gotten caught in the O'Brien's Pub sign also.
Yeah.
Powell with the long look at McAfee, and now English steps out.
Zach, I'm curious.
Yeah.
You grew up in California, correct?
Yes.
And you played college ball at Arizona State, and
Yes.
now you're here in Rhode Island.
I am.
Can you rank from best to worst, the best baseball weather to the worst baseball weather?
Oh.
Weather was a big topic of discussion early on here.
Yeah, it was. I'll definitely say for me, I would rather play in the heat than the cold.
Okay. It hasn't been too cold here.
But it's also just due to I grew up in the heat. I went to school in the heat. I always played in the weekends in the heat. So
1-1 hit sharply down the right field line. Mangum's going to have to play that one off the corner. McAfee being raved around third. He will easily score. English trying to make it a double. The play is close, but the ball gets out of the glove of Blumgren there and allows English to advance all the way to third. So 3-3 ball game here.
That's how you play that corner, though. That's where you want to play that in a second. It's a little bit more shallow. You can make that play there.
That'll be back-to-back doubles for the Waves. English advancing. And it was hit out of Blumgren's glove. But trouble here for Newport.
Yeah, but so just going with, since I grew up in the heat, I'd take the heat.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like my body's always ready in the heat, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The air is probably the driest in Arizona,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Me and Clunan, who was here earlier in the year, and Stevie were talking about the first few weeks here, we felt like our hand was always wet.
Yeah.
When it was really foggy and stuff, we felt like our hand and body was always wet. I'm like, why do we feel wet? We just got out here.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. That one misses up. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it would be the first inning. Like, why do we feel wet all the time? Is where Arizona, you're wet because you're just sweating because it's hot.
Well, I mean, the fog out. We had one.
Oh, yeah.
We had one that was called short after 7 with Ocean State, but you hit the grand slam the last play before the game was called against New Bedford a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was – I've never been a part of a fog out either, so we got a lot of firsts out here for sure.
That was something, boy.
Oh, you couldn't – we were talking the inning before in the outfield that every foul ball, fly ball they'd hit, we're like, we could not see that ball. If that comes anywhere near us, there's no shot anyone's catching it.
So there's also been trouble not only when there's fog, but also – lights turn on, the sun goes down, it's not completely dark yet. It can get a little bit hazy out there.
Yeah, it's about that 8:15-ish mark, 8 to 8:30, anytime in there.
One pitch, nice slider.
Little back foot.
Swung over.
About that 8 to 8:30 range, it gets, I don't even know how to describe the sun. It's like a sunset above, and it's patchy, so if the ball gets up there at the right height, just above the lights, it's tough to see. You kind of just trust your read off the bat.
2-2 pitch. Other side of this one, chopped down the first baseline. First baseman Reed is able to tag the bag himself, but scoring from third is English. And it's now 4-3 Ocean State, storming back and taking the lead.
Yeah, so I mean.
Now, when that's the case, are the infielders trying to help you out? They're pointing right away?
You'll see about that time in the game. The outfielders usually call to the infielders and just point up in the sky, and that lets them know we're struggling to see. And anytime there's a fly ball, they should just be pointing up, letting you know where it is. I know a couple times you just kind of trust your first instinct. If you see it look like it's flying deep to your right, you just go as far back as you can and hope that it's somewhere near you if it's going to hit the ground. But luckily we haven't had too many instances this year for us since we've played here a lot that have cost us too much, but you definitely notice it with other teams when they come in.
1-0 hit sharply towards Reed at first. Nice backhand play. He's able to tag the bag for the second consecutive time, so there are 2 outs in the inning, but it is 4-3 Ocean State on top in the top of the third.
Yeah, that was a nice play there.
He's looked good. He's come in
later
on in the season. He was a designated hitter for a while, but
yeah,
as the roster's kind of been depleted, he's had to do a good job out there at first.
Yeah, he stepped into that role really well. I mean, he played first base at his junior college, and he's going to be playing there in Kentucky, so it's a good fit for him. I mean, makes a good backhand play there. That's a tough ball, top spun from a lefty. Hit that ball hard, too.
Izzy Dano has fooled on the first pitch slider. He goes around for strike 1.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there. That's real sharp too.
Dana had the single, leadoff single back in the top of the second. He was stranded on third. Howell, long pause, leg lift. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, he gets a lot of run on his pitches. It's fun to watch for sure.
And you can pick that up very well from here and the plate pretty much anywhere. Yeah.
Even in the outfield when I was in center when he was throwing, you can see that ball running from center.
Here's the 1-1. That breaking ball just catches the low and outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to hit when he's going to be able to throw both of those for strikes.
How much would you say that playing at Cardines, you mentioned how many innings you guys go here, obviously it's home, gives you an advantage over opposing teams when they come here?
Oh, a ton. I mean, not only the dimensions and stuff, but you'll see guys miss play balls. You'll see guys go up to the wall like they're going to catch it and not realize it's 30 feet high. It's going to hit off the top and kick to the sides or whatever it is. Stuff like that where we can take advantage of it. I know a lot of times you'll see guys getting thrown out at second on a ball they hit to a wall because most places you can hit a ball to a wall and go, but here there's an
2-2 fouled straight back and right off the wood there.
Yeah, so I know a lot of guys you can make an extra play or whatever. Runners trying to score from first on a ball deep to center, but if you get a good throw on it with a good relay, you can get guys here. And I think that's real beneficial as our outfielders. We know you can't just give up on it. If you keep going, you might actually get the outs. I know we had a couple play the first week. Tim was here in center. Same situation. We got a guy at home that they tried to wheel him from first, and we know our dimensions. We can make the play, know the area.
Here's the break-even offering. Fastball swung on a miss for strike 3. The third strikeout of the ball game for Powell. But Ocean State battles back. They get 3 runs off 3 hits and take a 4-3 lead as we head to the bottom of the third inning. You're tuned into Newport Gulls baseball right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome you back to Cardines Field here. 4-3 Ocean State reclaiming the lead with 3 runs in the top of the third inning. It'll be Hosey, Mangrum, and Reed due up for the Gulls. Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp and Zach Hogeson, Newport Gull and Arizona State Sun Devil, rising sophomore. First pitch to Hosey, misses outside for ball 1. So you've been playing with these guys. I mean, you have a pretty good understanding of their approach and what they're looking for.
Yeah, we all talk about it and throw ideas around each other. I mean, everyone's got a little bit different style of hitting, but I think all of us at this point kind of know somewhat what kind of hitters we are. Some of us know we're more line drive guys. Some of us know we've got a little more pop. Some of us know we're a little mix of everything. It's just kind of, we're at that age now where you kind of start figuring yourself out a little bit. So I think it's good to have other guys who know that they're similar in the style that you hit, that you can talk to and like work ideas out through.
Hosey's a guy, the ball just jumps off the bat. It doesn't look like he swings that hard. 2-1 just catches the low part of the
that's a rough ball
zone there, right at the knees. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Hosey, who struck out his first time up. But it seems like it jumps off the bat with minimal effort.
Yeah, he's got a really smooth swing. You can tell he uses everything he's got when he's hitting balls. It's not he doesn't have to max effort stuff, and he's still going to put a lot through the barrel. He gets his weight transferred really well.
I mean, right away in the first game of the season when the guys were at New Bedford, he had 2 solo shots in that game. And what was that like? You were like, oh, man, who's this kid? 2 fouled straight back.
Yeah, we all hit BP and stuff, just trying to get a feel for each other, figure out who's going to be what role, trying to get everything going. And for him to hit 2 right away was kind of cool. We kind of struggled a little bit at the plate that first game, and he was guns a-blazing first game, so that was cool.
Miller working from the windup. Here's the break-even offering. That one lunged out and fouled straight back. Nice fight here from Hosey.
Yeah. He's got a good eye out there. He's able to get to a lot of pitches. So
leads the team in walks.
Yeah, he can battle himself into good counts too. And I mean, at that point, it's all just trying to get yourself into a count where he makes a mistake pitch that you can hit. That's the name of the game with 2 strikes, kind of. You got to get something that he leaves over the plate or something you can get enough bat to that you're going to find a hole.
He's had a couple of home runs that have come with 2 strikes so far this season. 2-2 chased in the dirt, but it rolls all the way to the backstop. Uliana trying to make a play at first. The throw down is not going to be in time. It was low. And Hosey is now on.
There's one way to get on.
With the strikeout. For a Newport team that strikes out a lot, you certainly like to see that. Digging it out no matter what. And has their leadoff man on regardless. Any way you can do it.
Absolutely. I mean, take it there. That's why you're running hard through. gets himself on and see what we can get rolling from there.
So here's Stevie Mangrum. It's too bad that Cole Austin is not going to be due up. That would be an interesting.
Having Cole, yeah. I've been talking to him still. Ooh, that got him.
First pitch fouled off of Uliana there. Not sure where it got him, but he's in pain.
I think that hit his right hand.
Yep, he looks like he's waving that right hand a little bit. It'll be 0-1 here to Mangrum. I mean, Miller wore one right off his elbow on top of his first hit of the game.
We were surprised he went back in there. That's a tough spot. Looked like he got him right on top of the forearm, a little flexor there, and he went back in. So kudos to him for that.
And you know, especially in summer ball, players don't really want to risk anything, even if it's ticky-tacky, even if it's not that big a deal. You know, how do you balance staying here, trying to get your work in, but also, you know, not wanting to risk any further injury or aggravation for your college season?
I'd say it's knowing your body. At this point, we've all been playing for multiple years. We know how we feel. We know when we feel good. We know when we feel bad.
Oh, and Hosey is off. The throw from Juliana bounces into center, but Ward is there. That will be a stolen base for Cody Hosey, 14th of the season for Newport.
Good idea going right after that.
Newport doesn't really run very much.
No. No, we won't. We're not a huge base stealing team. I mean, we got a few guys who can run pretty well, but
Tawa since coming in.
Yeah, we got a couple guys who can run a little bit, but we just kind of swing it. We like to just outbang every team we play.
Now, are you guys still keeping track of righty versus lefty home runs? So many guys have come and gone here that it's just
point,
righties have to be really blowing it open.
At this point, we're not. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that conversation.
Oh,
we're losing pretty good.
Fouled right side and out of play. It was something that the Gulls were keeping track of. Which side of the plate could hit more home runs, righties or lefties? It was close for a while. I had the tally.
Yeah.
The lefties were down maybe 5 once Stevie got hot, though.
Yeah, we were close. For a while there, it was just me and Reed.
0-2 breaking ball he's able to lay off.
We were looking for Clunan to help us out, and then he had it out. So it was just me and Reed hitting for a while, and they kind of just surpassed us. They got Stevie in, and Stevie got hot, and then Cole got hot.
Yeah.
Cody already had a couple, and by that point we were so far behind we just stopped keeping count.
2 pitch, another breaking ball misses in front of home plate. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Mangrum. 4-3 Ocean State on top, bottom of the 3rd inning. Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp and Zach Hogeson of the Newport Gulls and the Arizona State Sun Devils.
I would take the argument. I think the lefties are winning the doubles category, though.
2-2 pitch. Ooh. That one popped up right side. English giving it a little bit of a chase, but it'll get into the stands.
Oh.
You don't see too many foul balls that actually land in the seats to our right here. Usually they're at one of the roads or breaking glass somewhere.
They're usually flying out, especially with this net. This net catches a lot of them.
Yeah. Miller takes a look, now goes to the plate. This one a slow chopper right at Miller. Takes a look at Dana, now goes to first with it. And it was a little off target. Nice play there from English to retire Mangrum for out number 1. Hosey was able to advance 90 feet. He now stands on 3rd.
Miller's had some trouble throwing the bases.
Yeah, that's...
You think too much. You have so much time, and it looked for a second he was going to go to 3rd with it.
Yeah, it looked like it, but third baseman wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's coming up on it, so not really sure what happened there. A little miscommunication or something.
Owen Reed foul tips the first breaking ball in and out of the glove of Uliana for strike 1.
Zach, is there a left-handed batter on the Newport Gulls roster that has a comparable approach to the plate like you?
I'd say a lot of lefties have the same approach style. It's a little bit different with left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher. I mean, not like you're going to change swing or anything, but look for a little bit different things. I know for a while there I was seeing a lot of curveball stuff, so I had to stay on the lefties a little bit more and look to that left center gap over shortstop. I know I lived with Zach Britton, so he's a left-handed hitter. He and I would talk a lot about hitting, just, hey, what did you see today? I saw these. I saw a lot of fastballs. I saw a lot of changeups today, whatever it was, and just kind of approach-wise, like, hey, last at bat he threw me a couple sliders. Should I sit it here? And he'd be like, yeah, or whatever it was. We'd kind of talk that out with each other. And then same with Reed here. He's a big left-hander too.
He sees a lot of breaking pitches there.
Yeah.
And he's able to lay off them. Trots down the first baseline. Runners now on 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Yeah, that right there is a textbook at bat for what we're talking about there. You know, open base there, runner on 3rd, big left-handed hitter up. with a catcher coming up next, who usually you can profile so much as a little bit better turn double play on with catchers.
Harvey swings at the first pitch, fouls it behind home plate.
So you got to know lefty there. He's not really going to want to throw you anything to hit because big guy, he can hit a fly ball and score him. So he's going to see a lot of off speed. So he was probably just sitting there, wait till he got one or look for a fastball. Anything with spin, he was just going to take. And if this guy got a couple off speed pitches over for strikes, good for him. You start battling, but you just got to know there, like, be selective, open base. That's the kind of stuff we talk about. Same with like Britton. Like, hey, knowing this situation, you're not going to get too much.
You know, we see so often in Major League Baseball, guys get into slumps, get into really long funks.
Yeah.
And they start to tweak their swing. But the argument against that is, well, their swing is what got them to Major League Baseball in the first place. How often do you tweak your swing?
I would say that a lot of the tweaking I'll do is little stuff, and a lot of it would be mental as well. A lot of, you can get into funks, and your swing's what get you there. So you're never really going to be changing. If you've always done this one thing, you're not just going to throw it out the window and be like, I'm going to start choking up and try and slap the ball.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to be successful slapping the ball if you're a big guy, whatever the situation is. So I think it's more of
Miller checks on Reed again at first.
I know it's more of if you're struggling, say you're chasing a lot of a certain pitch, it'd be lay off that pitch. Even if he throws it for a strike, lay off of it because you're not going to do anything good with it. So a lot of, if you're struggling with a lot of strikeouts on down pitches, tell yourself if you see any curveballs, changeups down, take them. Kind of stuff like that. Or I know for me and Reeder talk about it a lot, like if we're slicing stuff to left as lefties, if we're just slicing a lot of stuff, we could feel our hands coming across our body. So if we're working that, we'll work like drills trying to just stay through the middle of the field, and then batting practice.
1-2 pitch, catches the outside corner, backdoor curveball, gets Harvey for out number 2.
I know for us, we'd work a lot of, instead of MVP, just trying to, if it goes in, crank it, we try and just stay the other way, stay from pretty much the split and center all the way to left during BP, and be like, hey, try and drive it hard that way. Like when we're hitting it, look for the backspin that way, not the ball slicing to the left that way. So it would be little tweaks of, I'm going to put my hands here a little bit and try working from a lower slot because I'm under pitches or over pitches, whatever the situation is. So, I mean, you're definitely making tweaks all the time. I know Plu and I talked. He implemented a little bit of a leg kick this summer. I used leg kick growing up, so we just kind of like spitballed ideas, and Grawley helped us. I mean, he's worked with some of the greatest hitters, so he knows the same ideas.
1-0 pitch misses high to Plu.
If you're drifting a little bit, you could implement a little bit of a leg kick. If you're out in front some more, you can try and hang it a little more, get back on your backside a little more, stuff like that. Mine was more tweaks to that stuff than it was so much trying to change my hand or change my full swing, because once you start doing that, that's when you get yourself into a bigger hole, I feel like.
2-0 lifted to center. Ward is able to make the play, so Newport can't do anything with runners on the corners. Nice job there from Miller working through the jam. Still 4-3 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Zach, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a great summer. Thank you for coming up here, and hope you enjoyed your time in Newport.
Yeah.
Best of luck with the rest of your college career and the career after that, and keep doing good things.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Zach Hogeson, Newport Gull, Arizona State Sun Devil. We'll be right back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Port, Rhode Island, the city by the sea. Dave Peck alongside Andre Olivier, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, and Joe DeLeon. And Joe, why don't you take us around the NECBL scores in the league?
Thank you, Dave. And so you guys touched upon, we had the one victory that ended up being a 11-inning no-hitter for the Valley Blue Sox, 4-0 win over the Sanford Mainers. And then as far as the other games are going on right now, bottom of the 6th, the Keene Swamp Bats are up 3-1 on the Mystic Schooners, top 7th. Upper Valley Nighthawks are up 4-1 over the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. Sanford Mainers actually currently holding 1-0 lead over the Valley Blue Sox in the second game of their doubleheader. Bottom of the 4th, Plymouth Pilgrims are tied with the North Adams Steel Cats at 4. And then finally, the New Bedford Bay Sox have a 1-0 lead over the Danbury Westerners. Back to you, Dave.
You, Joe, and we'll toss the play-by-play over to Jonah Karp. Jonah?
Oh, thanks so much, Dave. First pitch downstairs to Garrett Hodges, 1 ball and no strikes.
Boy, was that something.
I was just about to say.
I mean, wow.
The 1-0 taken in the dirt once again, 2 balls and no strikes.
I mean, not only the things that he was saying, how interesting they were, and how much we could learn from it, but Also, we had a display. Basically, once he said something, the situation would happen in the game.
The 2-0 rides outside. Hodges lays off. 3 balls and no strikes.
I mean, learning how to play this field and, sharing approaches with Zach Britton when they're, living together.
The 3-0. Up and away, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to lead off the top of the 4th inning to Garrett Hodges.
Yeah, not how you want to start for Powell, especially after the rough inning last time. 3 straight hits in the top of the 3rd.
Garrett Hodges has reached base twice tonight. Hasn't recorded a hit. Reached on an error in E4 back in the 2nd inning and walks to lead off the 4th inning. A 4-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves on top of the Newport Gulls. Sonny Uliana, who had a bit of a scare himself in the last half inning, is inside the batter's box. Runner on first base, nobody out. The pitch taken low and away, and it skips away from the catcher, Harvey. And Hodges trots down to second base.
Yeah, and it just got out of play, too. Right near the on-deck circle, so not a lot of room there. If it gets behind you, good chance that it's going to roll out of play there, right near where Newport and Ocean State warm up their bats.
Michael Turner in the on-deck circle, just about 10 feet behind home plate. Another pitch low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Sonny Uliana. Now 6 straight pitches out of the zone from Holden Powell to begin the inning.
I mean, the thing that was so interesting was how tuned in he was to not only the hitters and their approach, but also, seeing pitches so well even from up here.
Another pitch out of the zone. Again, it skips away from Logan Harvey, and now Hodges is on third base. 3 balls and no strikes to Sonny Uliana.
Yeah, that'll be a wild pitch, and this is trouble for Powell. Harvey trying to calm him down a little bit. It sheds light on how much thought and how much, attention to detail goes into the game of baseball and both aspects of it. He's talking geometry out there, how to play center field, communicating with Mangrum out in right and Plouffe in left, and trying to figure out the fastest way to get to the ball. There's just a lot more than meets the eye. That's what's so interesting about this game.
The 3-0, hit on the ground, left side foul. Played on a backhand by Gonzalez in foul territory along the third baseline. First strike of the inning, a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Sonny Uliana.
It's funny, when all the parents were here, Mr. Hogeson was sitting a little bit to our right. And I actually asked him, I was like, Mr. Hogeson, you wanna come on with me? He said, no, I don't need to do that, Too much pressure. I don't know what he said, but
it's intimidating.
But Zach, boy, that was fascinating.
The 3-1, check swing at a pitch in the dirt, appeal down to first. Sonny Uliana did not go around. Ball 4. 2 straight walks to begin the top of the first inning.
And now Kevin Winterrode's going to talk to Powell here. Wonder if there's anybody warming up. Newport doesn't have many arms there. Yep, they're just swinging the bats. So the bullpen guys waving the bats around out there down the left field line.
Is that a warm-up drill?
Get the shoulder warm somehow. Now some bat flips there. It's Nate Ryder.
We should bring Zach back on. Ask him about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we could have him on for the rest of the game, that would be something.
He could talk.
Because I'm sure that okay, so if you can see on your screen there, it's Nate Ryder and Nick Enright that are fiddling with the bats. And they're trying to, looks like, hit the barrels. Almost like a lightsaber battle right now, but I bet they're doing impersonations. Certainly not warming up with their arms.
The conference is complete. Still nobody out in the top of the top of the 4th inning, rather. Runners at the corners for the Ocean State Waves, a 4-3 lead on top of the Newport Gulls. The Waves have taken the last 3 meetings between these two teams. Game number 5 of the Pell Bridge Series, a 3-1 series lead for the Waves. Michael Turner, the new batter. Left-handed batter facing a right-handed pitcher. The pitch taken low and in. Another pitch out of the zone, 1 ball and no strikes.
5 hits for each team, 2 errors for the Gulls, just 1 for Ocean State.
It's Garrett Hodges on third base and Sonny Uliana on first base. Waves looking to tack on some insurance. The pitch taken up and away, ball 2. Just 1 strike in the inning from Holden Powell. He walked Garrett Hodges on 4 pitches, walked Sonny Uliana on 5 pitches, and behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes to Michael Turner.
Yeah, he's up to 66 pitches, 35 strikes, 31 balls.
The 2-0. Low and in. 3 balls and no strikes to Michael Turner.
Rogerson talked a lot about the movement. He's got a 2-seam run, so for a righty, that's going inside on righty hitters away from lefties.
Boy, Holden Powell's missing all over the place, not even in the same spot.
And he looked very sharp in the first 2 innings.
Yes, he did. The 3-0. That catches the outer corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. Liam MacArthur in the on-deck circle. Then we're back to the top of the order with Quincy McAfee.
Powell, a guy at UCLA who was actually a big bullpen guy. He led his team with 6 saves this season, so doing a little bit of starting for the Gulls.
The 3-1. This time over the inside corner of the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You can certainly see the mental toughness that he has, being able to work out of jam after jam, not necessarily in this game, but the last outing that he had. And now he's trying to fight his way all the way back here against Turner.
The payoff pitch. Swung on, and it gets past an umpire. Could be 2. Flip to second for 1. Turn to first is in-time double play. As a run comes home, Garrett Hodges comes home to score a 5-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves. But in return, the Gulls get 2 away.
Yeah, but you'll definitely take that there. Just down 2 now, and good job by the middle infield, Blumgren and Gethings, being able to roll that, because it wasn't hit on the ground that much. It was like a 1-hopper at Blumgren.
Blumgren was blinded by the umpire in front of him. Now 2 away, nobody on base. Another line drive picked on a hop by Blumgren at short. Goes across the diamond to first in time, and that retires the side. Holden Powell able to get out of it, with the Waves only plating 1 run in the top of the 4th inning. No hits in the inning, 2 walks, nobody left on base. After 3.5, it's the Waves 5 and the Gulls 3. Gulls come to bat when we return on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Bottom of the 4th inning, Jason Gonzalez, Jack Blumgren, and Tim Tawa. 8, 9, and 1 in the Newport Gulls order. 2 up against Tommy Miller, back in for inning number 4. A 5-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves on top of the home team Newport Gulls in game number 5 of the Pell Bridge Series.
We have a party up there on the deck, the roof deck, down the right field line. Why not?
That's so cool.
I mean, there's just so many things that go on here. It's great. You always got to be.
That's like Wrigley Field.
Exactly.
First pitch fouled in and out of the glove of Sonny Uliana. Count 0-1 to Jason Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, look at that warehouse down the right field line. That was what Hogeson was talking about.
The pitch from Miller. Lifted in the air, a foul ball down the right field line and out of play. And Miller quickly gets ahead, 0-2.
It was nice to see Gonzalez get a hit in his first at-bat. He ended up coming around to score on the throw-on 3-run home run from Tawa, but jumped on a first-pitch fastball and ripped it into left.
The 0-2 on the way. Swung on, foul-tipped into the glove of Sonny Uliana, strike 3.
Elevated, got him to chase. Nice job by Uliana, 5th strikeout of the ball game.
1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. We have a defensive change in the outfield. Liam MacArthur, who was out in left field, moves over to center field. And we believe it's Dylan Rescott in left field now. Ryan Ward was playing center field. Garrett Hodges is still in right field. First pitch downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes to Jack Blumgren. Blumgren is 1 for 1 on the night. Doubled in the 2nd inning, came around to score on a 3-run bomb off the bat of Tim Tawa, his 3rd of the season. Tawa in the on-deck circle. The pitch from Miller. Taken right down Broadway, 1-1.
Blumgren, another guy good to see get going. Late comers, so yeah, you're shaking off some cobwebs, shaking off some rust, but he's had quite a few hits here.
The 1-1, a fastball downstairs. Blumgren lays off. 2 balls and 1 strike. All 4 infielders playing very back at their respective positions. Middle infielders especially. The pitch. Swung on and missed the breaking ball, 2-2.
Yeah, that's just a tough pitch because you expect it to maybe drop and it doesn't. It had like some sliding action, still had some velocity and stayed up.
5 strikeouts on the night for Tommy Miller. The pitch just misses the inside corner and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That one started out and kind of came back into the zone, but just a little bit outside.
The payoff pitch swung on, and just getting a piece of it is Jack Blumgren to stay alive. It trickles nearly all the way back toward the mound, but he hit off his foot.
Another pitch. It's almost like a cutter here from Miller. It's coming into right-handed hitters. That one jammed him up, and he fouled it off his, I believe, his calf or possibly ankle.
Still walking a bit gingerly.
A lot of ticky-tacky things we've seen so far in this game, starting right off the first pitch when Newport was up.
Hard shot off the left elbow of Tommy Miller. Stayed in the game and is now pitching in inning number 4. 1 away. The pitch. Lifted in the air, opposite field into right field. Hodges closing in, makes the catch, 2 away. Tim Tawa, the new batter. 2 for 2 on the night. A single in the first inning, a 3-run home run in the second inning. All 3 runs on the board for Newport have come via that long ball. A 5-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves with 2 away in the 4th. The pitch. Lifted in the air to right field. Chasing Hodges back, still back. MacArthur takes a look. Hodges calls him off, makes the catch, and that retires the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Miller, his first of the evening. It comes in the 4th. 2 flyouts to Garrett Hodges in right field to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. And after 4 innings, Ocean State on top of Newport 5-3 on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. So there was a defensive carousel in the last half inning for the Ocean State Waves. Dylan Resk was put in left field. Liam MacArthur shifted over from left to center. Quincy McAfee now out of the game, and Dylan Resk taking his spot in the leadoff spot, takes the first pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, and you wonder if it was that play that was earlier on when McAfee was going back and dove over his right shoulder into shallow left field.
The 1-0. Taken off the plate inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Oh, you're right, John. It was a while ago, so you wonder why it wouldn't come out sooner. Maybe just lingered around and it became more of a thing than he thought it would be.
Ryan Ward, who was out in center field, moves over to second base. Cullen Smith, who was at second, moves over to shortstop where Quincy McAfee was playing. Another pitch inside. A 3-ball, no-strike count to Dylan Resk.
Yeah, another not ideal start here for Powell, getting behind to the leadoff man.
The 3-0. Just catches the inside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike.
He certainly can battle back, but he makes it difficult on himself.
The 3-1 on the way. Inside, ball 4. Well, before the 4th inning, Holden Powell hadn't walked a single batter, walked 2 in the 4th, and leads off the 5th with another walk.
Yeah, he's just having some control issues. But it's frustrating because he shows signs where he's able to locate and go with that slider that's been very effective, but the fastball early on in counts, that's been getting him into trouble.
That brings up Grant English with the runner on first base. Nobody out. Breaking ball, bends over the outer corner. English watches it, catches strike zone. Count 0-1. Jonah Karp and Dave Peck with you. Throw back to first. Dylan Resk not taking much of a lead. Not by any means a threat to steal. Doesn't have a single stolen base on the season. And this is a Waves team that does like to steal. A lot of speed. Pitch outside, 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fastball that he hasn't been able to locate, but when he's gone to the breaking ball, it's worked much better. Started off English with the curve.
Another throw back to first. Really no reason why Powell should be paying any attention to Dylan Resk. We hope Quincy McAfee's okay. He finished the night 1 for 2. Doubled in the 3rd inning. Struck out in the 1st. The pitch. Breaking ball. Just misses the outer corner. Sits a little bit upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, just didn't snap it enough there.
Cullen Smith in the on-deck circle. Hit a big solo shot in the 1st inning. The pitch from the belt. Taken off the plate, outside. 3 balls and 1 strike again.
You wonder if there's anybody warming now in the Newport bullpen. Looks like Maz is going to catch, and it's Jerry Burke. He pitched yesterday, but he's been good out of the bullpen lately.
Holden Powell fell behind on the first 3 batters he faced in the 4th inning. Now the first 2 batters he's faced in the 5th. Nobody out, runner on first base. The pitch. Lifted in the air down the left field line. Jason Gonzalez back at third base. He takes a look, and that'll be into the bullpen. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You wonder how long the leash is here. Kevin Winterode is on his feet. He wouldn't be the one to pull Powell, but if he walks him here, you got to think he'll go out, maybe buy Burke a little bit more time to warm up.
The payoff pitch. Breaking ball. Just misses the outside corner. 2 straight walks in the 5th. After 2 straight walks in the 4th, the Waves plated a run in the 4th inning and threatening to do so once again. Nobody out, runners on first and second, another meeting on the mound.
Yep, Winterode will come out, just trying to buy Burke some time. You saw when we first showed the bullpen, Mazza was still running down to get behind the plate to start catching Burke, so he hasn't been warming up for too long.
42 strikes for Holden Powell, 40 balls. Nobody out here in the 5th inning. Both base runners his responsibility. 4 walks in the game for Holden Powell, each coming, all 4 coming in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, walk's been an issue for Powell in his first appearance, 4 innings. He walked 3. Second start, one against Ocean State, 3 1/3. He just walked 2. That was one of his better control outings, but Ocean State was very aggressive, as they have been in this head-to-head matchup so far this season.
5 runs in the game for Ocean State. Powell entered the ball game with a 6.57 ERA.
The second baseman.
That ERA now up to 11.25. And the Waves threatening for more. Nobody out here in the 5th. The last time Powell faced Ocean State was back on June the 29th. A victory for the Waves, 11-5 here at Cardians Field. Comebacker, a bunt. Back to the mound, picked up by Howell, goes to first with it. And Powell retires Cullen Smith as the runners advance. Now 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, a little small by there. Nice execution. It was hit a little bit in the air. Powell thought about getting it in the air and then decided to wisely field it on the hop. And he took a look at third, but no play. Just goes to first with it.
Well, that gets rid of the double play opportunity. Middle infielder still playing back with the corner infielders coming in.
That's not an easy play either. He kind of fumbled it a little bit in his glove because it wasn't hit very hard. So,
first pitch to Ryan Ward sits inside. Logan Harvey doing a good job behind the backstop.
He really had to glove it so it didn't pop out.
1 ball and no strikes to Ryan Ward, 0 for 2 on the night. Dylan Resk on third base. Grant English on second base. 1 away here in the 5th.
Infield moving in now.
The pitch. Taken inside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. All 4 infielders in. Now the middle infielders going back.
Looks like they may try and time it up because they're not going all the way back.
So do you expect the middle infielders to charge at this?
Well, I guess they won't.
Big swing and a miss, 2-1. Why bring them in when the count's 1-0, and then when the count's 2-0, you push them back?
2-0, you have a better chance of hitting it hard if you're the hitter. It's more of a count where you can get a ball to drive.
The 2-1. Chopped foul. Back behind the plate, 2-2.
It also depends on maybe the pitch that's being called by Harvey behind the plate. If it's a breaking ball, maybe one that's low, then that will signal the infielders to come in onto the grass. If it's a fastball, maybe that's a little higher. If they're not trying to bury it in the dirt, that would cause them to go back.
Wouldn't that give away the pitch, though, to the batter?
If they're able to pick it up, but I'm just speculating.
Yeah. The 2-2. Hit on the ground, right side of the infield. A little nubber closing in. The first baseman, Reed, goes home with it, not in time.
It was really the only play he had. I mean, Gethings was going over to first to try and cover, but all the momentum of Reed was bringing him towards home. Just Resk was off on contact.
A 6-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves. Still with 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Casey Dana, the new batter, with runners at the corners.
You know, bringing the infielders in, it also could be something that they don't do every time it's a curveball, but, you know, based on the count and the pitch that's called and the location. There are a lot of variables than just fastball off speed.
First pitch. Taken over the outer corner of the plate. Count 0-1. The infielders now playing back. Gonzalez behind the bag at third. Middle infielders playing back. Reed holding the runner on first base. Runner goes. The pitch taken low and away. Throw down to second is a good one. Not going to be in time. A runner comes home and he's safe. Grant English scores for the Ocean State Waves. A 7-3 lead. Now with Ryan Ward on second base.
I mean, here we see the aggressive base running paying off. It's been something that has hurt Newport a lot so far this season, especially late in this struggle. The past about week and a half now, maybe even 2 weeks. And they're just, you know, playing very fundamentally sound baseball. A sack bunt, moving them over. First and third situation executed well.
Another pitch low and away. A 2-ball, 1-strike count to Casey Dana.
You know, Resk able to get a nice jump off of third on contact. It was a ball that was hit weakly to one of the corners. Usually that should be a play where you're not going, but he was, you know, so sure of himself that he made it not even a close play when Reed went to home.
Now Ryan Ward caught in a rundown between second and third. Throw back to third. Gonzalez slaps on the tag. Not smart base running from Ryan Ward. Now nobody on base and 2 away.
Yeah, he was trying to get to third to put the sacrifice fly into play. But a nice job there from Powell keeping his cool. Just stepping off, and Gonzalez with the nice tag.
2 runs home in the inning. A 7-3 Waves lead. 2-ball, 1-strike count to Casey Dana with Garrett Hodges in the on-deck circle. The pitch lifted foul. 2-2.
It's been a very interesting ball game. A lot of different things going on. A lot of different situations. We've seen extra base hits. We've seen home runs. Little small ball here. Now we're starting to see Ocean State run a little bit more. They didn't necessarily do that in the first couple of innings.
The 2-2 on the way from Powell. Lifted foul once again. Casey Dana doing a good job battling.
Crowd cheering after a lucky fan caught that foul ball. Always good to see. Our cameraman, Dan Byford, had a beat on it too. He's caught one so far this season.
Nobody on base, 2 away, top of the 5th. The 2-2 on the way. Lifted in the air to straightaway center field. And that ball is gone.
Tawa didn't even react, which is what made it so hard to see.
Yeah.
He lost it as well. And what time is it? 8:12. Hogeson, he said 8:15 here at Cardines. It becomes to be a twilight zone, and you saw it right there. Tawa had no idea. Probably lucky. Well, maybe not lucky, but that was over the fence. He didn't have to deal with it.
I was looking for it in the air, watching one of the outfielders react, and none of them did.
I mean, this is I mean, you talk about twilight zone. Mike Coombs is going to come out, and that will probably be the day. It will be the day for Powell. So Jerry Burke will come in, but talk about twilight zone for weather and whatnot. How about twilight zone for these bizarre moments where Hogeson says something, describes the situation, and then pretty much the next play over the next few minutes, it happens. Eerie here at Cardines Field.
Yeah, no question about it. A solo home run off the bat of Casey Dana with 2 away in the top of the 5th inning. The Waves on top 8-3. And we're going to have a pitching change. Holden Powell out, new pitcher in. We'll have that information for you when we come back. 8-3 Ocean State on top of Newport. We'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Top of the 5th inning. 2 away. 4 runs home in the inning, or 3 runs home in the inning for Ocean State. An 8-3 lead on top of the Newport Gulls in game number 5 of the Pell Bridge Series. Garrett Hodges, the new batter, against a new pitcher. First pitch is taken just a little bit inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, it'll be Jerry Burke, rising junior of Georgetown, 6'2", 205. He pitched in yesterday's game against Keene. 2 innings of scoreless baseball, 2 strikeouts.
Swung on and fouled back.
On the season, 0-2 record 5.75 earned run average, 8 games, 3 starts. Giving up 23 hits, walked 10, and struck out 11 in 20 and a third innings pitched. And in the past 5 appearances, he's only given up 1 earned run.
The 1-1. Taken up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Really, the change for that has been the shift from starting to coming out of the bullpen. He started that game at Ocean State, 8-1 loss for the Gulls.
Curveball over the heart of the plate, 2-2.
And in that one, he went 3 1/3, gave up 7 runs, all of which were earned on 9 hits. Walked no one and struck out 2.
Pitch way inside, forces Hodges to dance away from the plate, 3-2.
But that's been the thing that's been key for Burke when he's been on, getting ahead on hitters. Right now it's even, but key to success.
The payoff pitch inside, ball 4. The inning prolongs for the Ocean State Waves. Another walk, 3rd of the inning. 5th of the night for the pitching of the Newport Gulls.
Yeah, final stat line for Powell. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 8 runs, all of which were earned. 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. He faced 23 Wave hitters.
And boy, that was unexpected after the first 2 innings. Sparkling for Holden Powell. Just could not find the strike zone the last 2 innings.
He's just got to try and limit this and not get in any more trouble.
Sonny Uliana, the new batter, first pitch, swung on and tapped foul to the left of home plate.
We're bringing Joe De Leon. Joe, Uliana, a URI guy, you are as well. So, you've seen him play baseball. You kind of know what, he did in his spring season. What have you got on Uliana?
Well, I called a few games that he got to play in, but actually he has a very quiet impact for this team. He missed about a month from an ankle injury that he suffered when he was stealing second base, and from the result of that, the team had so many inconsistencies defensively from their catchers. There were instances that they had to put some backup guys in that were not ready to play, and then there were also games in which they had people from their outfield playing catcher in those games, and there were a lot of stolen bases that occurred in those games. There were a lot of guys that got the advantage on the opposing teams in tag-out plays, and as soon as Uliana came back, the team was back to being consistent, and that was the hotter part of the season, is right when he came back for them and for the Rams.
Another pitch tapped foul, a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Sonny Uliana.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, here in this game, granted that 6-4-3 double play, he's been wearing a couple of, foul tips off of, I believe it was his right wrist, something or other, but, he's been a guy for Ocean State, important behind the plate. You talk about a catcher, is kind of your bulldog.
Yeah, no question about it. He's been Ram tough in this game.
University of Rhode Island Rams.
The 1-2. Hit on the ground, back toward the center of the diamond, picked up by Blumgren at shortstop, steps on the second base bag, and that'll do it for the top of the 5th inning. But 3 more runs come around for the Ocean State Waves. On top, 8-3 over the Newport Gulls. Gulls come to bat when we return on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Well, it's Friday here at Cardines Field. And this is another lopsided. Thank you.
We never have home games on Saturday or Sunday, so I can't time up any of the 2 songs that I have in the repertoire with the day of the week. It's very unfortunate.
Is there a good Friday song that you could play? Hard to think of one on the spot.
We'll have to go to the archives and get our research team on it.
Jonah Karp and Dave Peck. Pleasure to join you on this Friday evening. An 8-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves. It's been lopsided, these meetings between these 2 teams. The last 3 meetings taken by the Ocean State Waves. This is meeting number 5 between these 2 teams. First meeting taken by Newport, a 5-1 victory. Ocean State took an 8-1 victory at home. 11-5 here at Cardines in favor of Ocean State. Check down to third. Swing held by Jack Gethings, 1 ball and no strikes. And then the last one was back on Monday, and that was the mother of them all. This one plunks Gethings right on the back.
One that Newport wants to forget. But, it's 8-3 right now. 5-run deficit for the Gulls. That does not mean that it's going to be a 5-run deficit 2 innings from now. And I say that because Newport has given up big innings, even when they've been close in games. That's what's been so frustrating. So they need to keep the pedal down. 5 runs is not that much, all things considered.
Swung on and missed. Count 0-1 to Cody Hosey.
It's these big late innings. Sanford had 6 in the 8th when it was tied 1-1, or it was 1-0 rather.
Throw back to first. Not taking a big lead off the bag is Jack Gethings. But Dave, on the other side of the coin, and we've seen it in this game already, Newport can change the course of a game with one swing of the bat.
Yep, yeah, they can. They definitely can. They got to get runners on base. They have the firepower to hit it over the fence.
Pitch taken right down Broadway, 0-2.
But they haven't been able to string together a lot of hits in a long time. They've had some spotty RBI. They've had some long balls that have come with nobody on base. Tim Tawa changed that with his 3-run shot in the second, but more consistency.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Tommy Miller going with the high cheddar. Big strikeout to get Cody Hosey swinging. 3rd time tonight he struck out.
And consistent scoring inning after inning. I mean, that's something that the Waves have done so well. You look at the last game, they scored in every inning against the Gulls except the 6th and 7th when Austin Michelle pitched a couple of good innings. And in their game prior to that, back before, they had another peppering of the scoreboard.
Stevie Mangrum takes a rip and misses all of it. 0 for 2 on the night is Mangrum.
This game again, 4 out of 5.
Throw back to first. Once again, Gethings not taking much of a lead.
But how surprised are we? They're the number 1 offense in the league.
Entered the ball game, leading the entire league in batting average, leading the league in on-base percentage. Pitch low and away. Mangrum lays off 1-1. A .390 on-base percentage. Leads the Southern Division in hits and in stolen bases, and is second in the Southern Division in walks entering the game. Knows how to get on base. Knows how to scratch out runs through the Ocean State Waves.
And the ERA has not changed since the last meeting for the Waves as a whole staff, 4.46.
The pitch. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Waves lead the entire league in on-base percentage. And if you look at the OPS metric, which is on-base percentage and slugging percentage combined, the Waves aren't at the top. It's actually Newport who lead the entire league in slugging percentage, and no surprise because they're a home run team.
Especially doubles, too. 69, that's first in the league. They're 3rd in home run, not too far behind, but they have a lot of triangles to work with here at Cardines.
The pitch from Miller swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2nd straight strikeout from Tommy Miller. 2 away with a runner at first base.
An interesting thing, I actually mentioned it in yesterday's broadcast. July 9th was the last time, excluding his last at-bat when he grounded out to the pitcher. That was the last time that he was retired, not by a strikeout.
First pitch low and in to Dalton Reed.
So every single time that Mangrum has been retired, and not saying it was that much, but when he was put down, when he didn't have a hit or walk, it was by a strikeout, and every single time, 9 straight.
Pitch low and away, and Reed lays off once again. 2 balls and no strikes. Reed 0 for 1 on the night. Lined out to the left fielder. At the time was Liam MacArthur back in the 1st inning. That has since changed. It's now Dylan Resk. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Reed worked a walk in the 3rd inning. 8th walk of the season, but came into the game leading or tied for the lead on the Newport Gulls team with 34 strikeouts. Yet to strike out tonight, 2-1 the count. Miller with a long look at first. And a pitch upstairs. Reed lays off, 3 balls and 1 strike.
I mean, they did all their damage in the bottom of the 2nd with 2 outs. Harvey grounded out, Plough grounded out, then Gonzalez with the single, Blumgren with the double with the 3-run shot.
Good hitters count here, the 3-1. Lifted in the air down the left field line and out of play. Count runs full, 3-2. Strike number 57 on the night for Tommy Miller. 25 balls. Throw back to first. Count holds at 3-2.
Dalton against lefties, batting .308 this season.
Runner goes, the pitch taken low and in. And no throw from Sonny Uliana. Now the count 3-2 to Dalton Reed.
So here's Newport trying to play a little bit of small ball as well. A couple of times we've seen them be more aggressive. Gethings is now in scoring position.
The pitch. Chopped on the ground, right side of the infield. Scooped up by the first baseman. English takes it himself to the bag, and that retires the side. Dalton Reed made it close at first base. The Gulls end up stranding one. No hits allowed by Tommy Miller in inning number 5, but one stranded for the Newport Gulls. Still an 8-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves entering inning number 6. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Top of the 6th inning, 8-9-1 in the Waves batting order. Due up against Jeremiah Burke, Michael Turner, Liam MacArthur, Dylan Resk. Michael Turner, the first man up, flew out to end the 2nd inning, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 4th inning that ended up scoring a run. An 8-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves here in the top of the 6th. First pitch on the way, waved at and missed, a pitch downstairs. Count 0-1 to Michael Turner.
Nice slider to start off Turner and get ahead. 6 hits for the Waves, 5 for Newport, 2 errors for the Gulls, and just 1 for Ocean State.
And Turner watches the pitch sit off the plate. Up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Burke came in to relieve Holden Powell of his duties. This one's lined in the air. Soft liner and caught right behind the second base bag by Blumgren. 1 away.
Nice job there by Burke. Able to get the weak contact. Blumgren's able to squeeze it for out number 1. The first time that the leadoff man has not reached for the Waves since the 1st inning.
Jeremiah Burke came in inning number 5 with 2 away. Was tasked to get the 3rd out. And the first pitch taken low and away to Liam MacArthur. 1 ball and no strikes. Got that 3rd out eventually in the 5th inning. Pitch laid off and taken inside. 2 balls and no strikes. But that was a 5th that unraveled for Holden Powell after a 4th that began to unravel for Holden Powell. The 2-0 taken upstairs. And Jeremiah Burke falling behind. 3 balls and no strikes.
Again, Burke pitching in the 2nd consecutive night. Newport doesn't have many arms left. Talking about the roster depletion. Certainly in the pitching staff.
The 3-0 taken over the inner corner. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Augie Milbauer gone. Gavin Sullivan. David Steele has been hurt for a couple of weeks now.
The 3-1 fouled away, 3-2. So on one hand, pitchers have the ability to get more opportunities to see the mound. But on another hand, you're working on even shorter rest. The payoff pitch. Line drive off the foot of Burke. And it's picked up by Blumgren, but he's not going to have a play.
The only play he would have had was the bare hand. That's what Blumgren went for, but it just had a lot of spin off it. Kicked off. It was actually a good ricochet there from Burke. It was pretty much the only play that was definitely going to be a single up the middle, I believe. But a lot of these bullpen guys, big into hacky sack. So they're using their feet all the time. Away games, they're always playing sack before the game starts and during batting practice. So, Burke's got some footwork there. He
almost
may have
paid
had
off
an assist.
There.
Yeah.
Runner on first base with 1 away. Top of the 6th inning. The pitch to Dylan Resk is taken over the outer corner.
Dual athletes here on the field.
Dylan Resk came in for Quincy McAfee in left field. Worked a walk in his first plate appearance. That came in the 5th inning. Takes a strike. Count 0-2.
Nice slider there from Burke.
Liam MacArthur on first base has a lot of speed. 1 away here in the top of the 6th inning. An 8-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves. Burke checks him over at first. Comes to set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Waved at and missed, strike 3. 2 away.
That's a nice pitch there. High and outside, and Resk just couldn't catch up to it. Big second out.
Dylan Resk has really struggled entering the ball game. 11 hits and 59 at-bats this season, batting just $186. Now has 13 strikeouts on the year. That brings up Grant English with 2 away, a runner at first base, top of the 6th inning. Waves on top by 5. The pitch. Lifted in the air. Down the left field line, a foul ball out of play. Count 0-1.
Yeah, I saw a Wave bullpen guy try to make a catch up the fence.
Adjacent bullpens out along the left field line. Ocean State and Newport. Trying to build friendships here between the two teams.
By the 5th time you play them, especially because there are a lot of overlapping schools out there, you know, could be some discourse.
Adjacent bullpens, adjacent dugouts.
It can go one of 2 ways,
Sure.
I guess you could say.
Sure. Colin Smith in the on-deck circle. Count 0-1 to Grant English. The pitch. Hit on the ground, foul. Down the first base line, count 0-2. English struck out swinging in the first inning. Doubled and advanced to third base on an E9. And walked in the 5th. 1 for 2 on the night. Went 4 for 6 with 3 runs scored. And a 17-1 win back on Monday against Newport. 0-2 the count. The pitch from Burke. Fastball got him looking. Over the outside corner. A good-looking pitch from Jeremiah Burke, and that retires the side. Jeremiah Burke works around a 1-out single from Liam MacArthur. Strikes out Dylan Resk and Grant English to end the top of the 6th inning. Entering the home 6th, when the Newport Gulls come to bat, Ocean State still on top 8-3. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. The Ocean State Waves leading the Newport Gulls 8-3, entering the bottom of the 6th inning. Before we get to the action, let's send it over to Joe DeLeon for a look around the league. Joe?
Thank you, Jonah. As of right now, we have we have 2 completed games. The Upper Valley Nighthawks got the 5-1 victory over the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. Keene Swamp Hats ended up beating the Mystic Schooners 3-2. And then as far as the games are currently still in action, the Valley Blue Sox, after throwing that no-hitter, are currently down by 2 runs, 2-0 to the Sanford Mainers. North Adams Steeplecats currently hold a 6-4 lead over the Plymouth Pilgrims. And then finally, the New Bedford Bay Sox lead 2-0 over the Danbury Westerners in the bottom of the 6th. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Joe. Man, an 11-inning no-hitter. I still can't get over that.
That's gutsy.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the physical, you know, amount of physicality that takes speaks for itself, but mentally to be able to go out there inning after inning and just keeps going, especially because it was supposed to be 7. I mean, that's your mindset going into this game, a 7-inning outing at the most.
But you know what? On the flip side, you save a lot of arms for game number 2.
Absolutely. That's exactly what you couldn't have scripted it any better way if you're Valley.
150 pitches from Cooper Bradford. A heck of a job. 13 strikeouts in that outing. An 8-3 lead for the Ocean State Waves in this game over Newport. A brand new pitcher coming in relief of Tommy Miller, who went 5 innings. Cam LaFleur.
Yeah, LaFleur so far this season, 1-0 record, 5.55 earned run average, 10 games, has not made a start. 11 hits, walked 9, struck out 13, and 11 and a third. He also has a save.
A rising senior at the University of Rhode Island. Faced Logan Harvey, Dylan Plew, Jason Gonzalez, 6, 7, and 8 in the Newport Gulls batting order.
Well, Newport hasn't scored since the 2nd inning. It's the only inning they have scored in.
A big 3-run homer off the bat of Tim Tawa. Tawa's looked good tonight, 2 for 3. Harvey, Plew, and Gonzalez a combined 1 for 6 on the evening. Harvey will lead things off 0 for 2. A ground out and a strikeout. First pitch from LaFleur. Hit on the ground right side of the infield. Scooped up by the second baseman Ryan Ward. Tosses it to first in time.
Nice start there for LaFleur. That's exactly what you want. 1 pitch, 1 out. Harvey just a little bit late getting his foot down there.
That's the first time Ryan Ward has seen action at second base in quite some time, and certainly in this game. Ward played most of the games at second base early on in the season. LT Struble was at shortstop for a lot. Then Quincy McAfee came and shook up the whole defensive alignment.
Number of switches for both teams in the middle infield.
Yeah, Struble moved over to second base, but he's not playing today. First pitch on the way is taken just over or misses the inner corner. Count 1 ball and no strikes. And now a completely different looking defensive alignment for Ocean State. Dylan Resk in left field, Liam MacArthur in center field. Cullen Smith at shortstop as another pitch sits low and away to Dylan Plew. 2 balls and no strikes. And Ryan Ward at second base.
Final stat line for Tommy Miller, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned, 1 walk and 8 strikeouts.
Nobody on base with 1 man out. Cracked in the air, deep to right center field, chasing Hodges back. And that ball is gone. A solo home run off the bat of Dylan Plew. And the Newport Gulls get 1 back. They cut the lead for the Ocean State Waves to just 4.
So all 8 of Newport's runs in its last 2 games have been by way of the long ball, and that's Dylan Plew's first home run of the season. Good to see him go yard there. A guy who hits a lot of doubles is able to get the lift and try and help Newport climb back. It was another solo shot, but nothing Plew can do there. He did his job.
An 8-4 lead for the Ocean State Waves, 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch upstairs. Gonzalez lays off, 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzalez 1 for 2 on the evening. A single and a strikeout. The pitch from LaFleur. Catches the inner corner, 1-1.
For Ocean State, all 3 of their runs came due to the home run last night.
That's right. Bit unconventional for this team. They don't hit many of them. But a 2-run home run from Grant English, as this one's popped in the air. Not very deep out in center field. Liam MacArthur ranges under it, loses it, dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. He stayed with it. Boy, that was a scary-looking play from Liam MacArthur, who lost it briefly, but then recovered.
Yeah, that's really a nice play from MacArthur. I mean, it was hit high in the air. You can see whenever you have your hands out like that, he has no idea where it is. Finally able to track it and goes back, dives to his right. Tough play there near the fence. Big one, too, because it was hit so high, Gonzalez easily would have been on second.
That brings up Jack Blumgren, who hits a hard hit ball, takes a weird hop, but skips right to the shortstop Cullen Smith, who throws across the diamond to first in time to retire Jack Blumgren and retire the side. But the Gulls get 1 back. A big solo blast from Dylan Plew. An 8-4 lead for the Ocean State Waves entering inning number 7. Stick around on the NECBL Broadcast Network, powered by Stretch. Top of the 7th inning here at Cardines Field. An 8-4 lead for the Ocean State Waves on top of the Newport Gulls. And as tradition here at the NECBL Broadcast Network, for the last 3 innings of regulation, we turn it over to the home broadcaster, and tonight's home broadcaster is your voice, the Newport Gulls, Dave Peck. Dave?
Thank you for the introduction, Jonah. It's been a little bit of a back-and-forth affair, although Ocean State has been much more consistent offensively, scoring 1 run in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 3 in the fifth. But Newport hanging around thanks to the long ball, the 3-run home run by Tim Tao on the bottom of the 2nd, then Dylan Plew with his first long ball of the season. 8-4. If Newport can just hang around here, give themselves an opportunity. Smith takes ball 1 low from Burke. It'll be Smith, Ward, and Dana due up here in the top of the 7th. Burke still out on the mound. Had a quick inning in the 6th, including a couple of strikeouts. 1-0 pitch, nice slider, catches the outside corner for strike 1. Smith had the solo home run in the first inning. 1-1, another slider. This one misses outside. He grounded out to Reed at first to touch the bag himself, and then laid down the sacrifice bunt that ended up being a huge play in that 3-run inning back in the 5th. 2-1 pitch, popped up left side of the infield in foul territory. Harvey lifting up his mask, play near the stanchion, about halfway down the third baseline, but can't get to it. Lands in foul territory. It would have been a tough play. Not a lot of room. We talk about it a lot here in Newport. Not only that, but the twilight zone is upon us.
That's right. Sky is darkening and the lights shining really, really bright here at Cardines Field.
They're not the tallest lights, too.
No.
So that can add to the glare. Here's the break-even offering. Slider in there for strike 3 as Smith swung through it, kind of jammed him up. Nice pitch there from Burke for out number 1.
Boy, Smith just completely tied up on that. Possibly looking to fist it just to stay alive. Almost swung out of his shoes. Now 3 straight strikeouts dating back to the last inning for Burke.
Yeah, once he went around, he really didn't have a choice. Third strikeout of the ball game for Burke as he drops in. First pitch changeup to Ryan Ward. Ward is 0 for 3 so far in this game. Burke working quickly. 0-1, chopped in, stabbed by Burke. Gloves it, underhands it to first, 2 gone. He's been active there.
Yeah.
On the mound, fielding his position. Hot ground ball, but once you get it, you have pretty much all day.
On both sides tonight, we've seen a lot of hard-hit comebackers. Right back to the pitcher.
Squaring up a lot of balls, at least timing-wise. Here's Casey Dana. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Dana with the home run in the 5th inning. Burke from the windup. Deals the 1-0. That one is flown into right field. Mangrum going back, now comes in. Settles under it, has a beat, and makes the catch for out number 3. So Burke with the 1-2-3 inning keeps the score at 8-4. Ocean State on top. We'll see what the Gulls can do offensively in the bottom of the frame right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. As is tradition here, we will send it to Dono Hanley for singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. 7th inning stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for it's good for shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Good job!
Very nice work by the not only voice of Cardines Field and Newport Gulls here at home, Dono Hanley, but a crowd at Cardines that has stuck around for this one. 8-4, Newport trying to claw itself back into the game, but it's been an entertaining one at that. A lot of different aspects of it, a lot of different ways runs have been scored. We'll see what Newport can do here as they have the top of the lineup due up. Tawa, Gethings, and Hosey facing LaFleur for the first time. Tawa had the 3-run home run in the second. He also singled in the first. Flew out to center his last time up. First pitch in there for strike 1 in the low and outside corner. Six hits for Newport, 2 errors and 4 runs. 0-1 lifted, shallow center field. MacArthur coming in and to his right, having trouble seeing it, but he's able to make the play for out number 1. So we saw his hands go up again, but that time much easier for MacArthur.
I wonder where the problem is. Is it the lights? Is he just not reading it off the bat?
I mean, we see this a lot. He started back, he had a good beat on it, and then right there you see him kind of stop a little bit, but I think it was only for a brief second there.
Also, I wonder how much of it plays into it that he started the game in left field, had to move over to center field.
First pitch to Gethings catches the inside corner for strike 1.
How much of that messes with his perspective?
Yeah, because there are a lot of different things, especially the way the sun is setting there.
Yeah.
You can get a little bit more in your head because it's not nighttime if you look to the west. Nice breaking ball catches the strike zone there. Gethings behind quickly 0-2.
Well, Dave, you were an outfielder.
Yeah, I mean, it's the lights coupled with the fact that it's overcast, but there's still blue skies, but it's also night, and then there's half a sunset if you look to the west. 0-2 misses high. I mean, all the different things makes it very difficult to pick up the ball. I always found even when it was pitch black, the lights were a little bit, in your eyes. That's why you see guys even for night games wear eye black because there is a glare. And when the lights aren't that high, it's even worse. 1-2 slider just runs off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But you have your infielders to help you because sometimes it can be hard to read it right off the bat. when you're expecting it to come to you, but as an infielder, if you see it go up, you can follow it more closely, as that one is hit into the hole, right side, and into right field for a single. Gethings had to reach down, but he's able to poke it. Nice line drive for a one-out single for Jack Gethings.
Pitch low and away. Good job by Jack Gethings staying with it. That's a sign of a good hitter. Reaching out and putting it where they ain't.
That'll bring up Cody Hosey. Struck out 3 times today. One of the times he did reach as it went all the way to the backstop. This pitch swinging straight back to the screen, 0-1. Hosey now batting .295. Came into this game leading Newport in hits. LaFleur, the lefty, comes to the set. Here's the 0-1, grounded left side foul. He just rolled over it.
Entering the ball game, right-handers are batting .265 against Cam LaFleur. The 2 hits tonight have both come from the left side of the plate, including Dylan Plew with a big solo home run.
Yeah, Newport's a team generally doesn't hit lefties that well, .240 average. 0-2 pitch, fouled up into the netting right near the Newport dugout.
Funny how that happens. A team that doesn't hit lefties well and a left-handed pitcher who pitches very well against left-handed batters. Completely the opposite tonight.
Certain guys, I mean, Jack Gethings, .293 against righties, but against lefties so far this season, he's batting .290, so not much difference. That one is fouled basically into the same spot behind home plate. A guy who was very good at hitting lefties from the left side was Zach Britton, .385. That led the team, both righties and lefties. He is gone. Another big loss for the Gulls, but they got to, try and figure out a way because they're still in the hunt. Just 3 games back of the Waves for that last spot in the Southern Division for the playoffs. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, bounces in the dirt. Nice stop from Ulian to keep Gethings at first. Newport 13-16 on a 2-game losing streak. In this 7-game stretch is 1-4. Ocean State 15-12. That is third. They got 3 games on the Gulls, trying to make it 4. That one is lined down the right field line and out of play. We said at the beginning of the week, before the 17-1 score was put on the board, pretty much by Sunday, Newport will have a good sense of where they're at, not only in the standings by the numbers, but mentally where they're at after a 7-game stretch, depending on how it goes, depending on how many people stick around. 1-2 runs well inside, and that one hits him. So it hit him right near the left foot, probably caught him in the guard that he has on his left ankle. Regardless, runners on first and second now with 1 out. They are coming to the ballpark each and every day, trying to put their best foot forward, are the Gulls. But, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Day after day to grind it out. They got to figure out how to do it. Here's Stevie Mangrum. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. I think strikeouts are a big part of their struggles. Not getting a lot of opportunities. Home runs have certainly been there. Errors, not that they've had too many, but they've been untimely, and opposing teams give them credit. They've been cashing in. The other thing you look at is stolen bases against the Gulls. That one is lifted straight back and foul.
I think the most surprising thing, though, is how quickly the offense has fallen off.
Yeah.
Because for the first month of the season, Newport was uncatchable in the offensive department, batting well over 300.
Yep. I mean, you have Cole Austin leave, Zach Britton leave. Those were your 2 top hitters for the majority of the season. Hogeson is out. 1-1 pitch. Slider runs outside and misses. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. So those were 3 bats that were very significant. Tawa coming in, and he's been good. He's been keeping Newport in games, as is Mangrum. And Gethings as well, but it's just putting it together consistently. One guy will be on and the other will be off. They haven't been able to put a couple of string hits together. 2-1, waved and missed. Bit on the low off speed. Eight to 4, bottom of the 7th inning. Ocean State on top. Mosey on first, Gethings on second, one down. LaFleur working from the stretch. Gets the sign from Uliana, now checks Gethings. Leg kick, here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's a changeup that misses outside.
How does a team recuperate from not only losing ball games, but losing teammates?
It's something I wanted to ask Zach,
Yeah.
actually. That's why I wanted to ask him. Your teammate at school, Cole Austin, left, and he said he still keeps in touch with him, but it can be tough. 3-2 fouled straight back because you build a lot of chemistry with guys.
Right.
Not necessarily the guys who leave, it just by happenstance. Some of the guys who left and aren't playing were glue players, not only on the field but as a team. Guys who would be a huge part of bus camaraderie and stuff like that. Not saying the team isn't close, because they are, but you lose guys like that, and then everyone else maybe feels like they're stranded on an island. 3-2, swung on and missed in the dirt. Breaking ball that Mangrum couldn't lay off. Third time he's struck out this evening, and there are two down in the seventh. But yeah, it changes things. It does, and as much as you want to say that they can just drop it and play baseball, which they're doing their best, and it's not like they're crushed that guys are leaving, but
yeah,
you build relationships and then they're gone. You won't see them for a while. The curveball misses in the dirt for ball one to Dalton Reed.
It's so interesting, the dynamic of summer baseball, because this was a team that wasn't by any stretch of the imagination the same in the 2017 season.
Right. 100% different, yet the vibe around the team is different, but the results not necessarily are, as that one catches the outside corner for strike one. I was around last year, and the vibe was a little bit different between that team and this one, struggling in different ways.
It's not like in college ball or in professional ball. When teams struggle, you turn to the veteran players, the ones that have been there for a while.
1-1 hit on the ground hard towards the right side. English, the first baseman, is able to knock it down, then tag first himself to retire the side. So Newport strands two runners on, and they can't get a run across. We'll head to the eighth inning, 8-4 Waves on top right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We head to the eighth, just around the 9 o'clock hour here at Cardines Field, Newport, Rhode Island. Burke still out on the hill. He has been good. 1-2-3 inning in the seventh. He will face Hodges, Uliana, and Turner here, the 6, 7, and 8 part of the Waves lineup. I'd like to welcome in everyone who's listening here across the country. Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp. Hodges, so far in this game, he has a run scored. And he's reached base 3 times, once on an error and a couple of walks. Turns at the first pitch and lifts it foul down the third baseline out of play. For Ocean State, to come in, still some baseball to be played. Just based on the way they've played this game so far, though.
Yeah.
Confidence. That's the biggest thing. You look back to Resk when he was at third. Just knowing he wants to go home. Conviction, aggressiveness. Those are the things I would describe to this team. Nice curveball drops in for strike two from Burke. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball cranked down the right field line and into the corner. That will be a fair ball. Mangrum's got to scoop it up out of the corner. Headed for second is Hodges. He will be in with a leadoff double.
I knew that hit was going to come eventually from Garrett Hodges. It was just a matter of when. Boy, he just turned on one.
It was just a pitch that was left high and inside. A mistake there from Burke, who was up 0-2.
What's interesting, though, and maybe this kind of plays into the same argument, and on the flip side for the Ocean State Waves, building their confidence, even when everyone was healthy and everyone was on the team, they had a full roster.
First pitch to Uliana is fouled down the first base line out of play.
The lineup looked more or less the same to what it is right now. Yeah, they had an addition in Quincy McAfee, who's been exceptional, and that only adds to the confidence of the team.
Newport a few shuffling in the lineup. Just a breaking ball. Runs outside. They check to see if he went around. He did not, said Ben Wroblewski over there at second base. So it'll be 1-1.
But guys like Garrett Hodges, Ryan Ward, Grant English, Casey Dana, who have been there from the very beginning, they've been everyday players and they've been producing.
Burke from the stretch, 1-1 fastball misses high. Well, you build a cohesive unit. That's what you do. Newport's still trying to find it, and every night the storyline is, when are they going to find rhythm? When are they going to, make their run? Because it's still close. It's still within reach. 2-1 pitch. Nice breaking ball taken for strike 2. Juliana was fooled. It caught a lot of the plate. Not the sharpest movement, but evens the count up at 2-2 regardless. Burke, long look in, gets the sign from Harvey, shakes off a couple, now gets one he likes. Takes a look at Hodges at second. Slide step, 2-2 pitch, slider, swung on a miss for strike 3. A nice job there from Burke to go back to the off-speed. That's his 4th strikeout of the evening. And there's one down in the top of the 8th.
Boy, just completely baffled Sonny Juliana.
So one down here is Michael Turner, 0 for 3. Rounded into a double play, lined out to Blumgren at short, and flown out to Tawa in center field. First pitch from Burke is swung on and fouled into the netting right behind home plate. 0-1. 8-4 Ocean State with the lead. Top of the 8th inning. Hodges led off the frame with that double down the right field line. Turner, the number 8 hitter in this lineup. 0-1 pitch. That misses low. Ocean State has not scored since the 5th inning. Jerry Burke, another solid outing he's putting together. And this is huge for saving the bullpen. 1-1 pitch, slider, hit hard on the ground, gloved by Reed, but he can't get it as it goes in and out of his glove after he had it. And that will be an error charged to the first baseman, Dalton Reed. Hodges is able to advance to third, and there are runners on first and third with one out.
And it looked like Reed had it in his glove initially, did the hard part of getting to it in the first place, and it was just hanging on. That was the tough part.
He did. He had it. It's like he didn't close it all the way, because when he first took his couple of steps towards first base, that's when it came out. It's the 3rd error of the ball game for the Gulls. Here's Liam MacArthur. Runners on the corners, one out. First pitch misses inside for ball 1. MacArthur singled and scored in the 3rd, grounded out to Blumgren at short, and then singled was stranded on first base back in the 6th inning. One of 2 hits that Burke has allowed. And he shows bunt, gets it down the first baseline. Burke, a nice job gloving it and underhanding it to first for an out, but Hodges does score from third, and it's 9-4 Ocean State.
Good call.
Sneaky bunt there. A little bit of a safety squeeze. With just one out, there are 2 down now. But every run counts. And that's an RBI for MacArthur.
And with the speedy MacArthur, I mean, he could have very easily beaten out that drag bunt. So you got to be wary of him. You don't want him on the base path, so you got to concede the run.
That'll flip the lineup. Here's Dylan Resk. Came in the 5th inning. First pitch from Burke. His breaking ball that misses in the dirt. Gets a little bit away from Harvey, but he's able to find it before any advance from Turner. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, credit Burke there. That was an athletic move. He flew off the mound there and was able to glove it. A big out, but 9-4. Waves on top. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Nice slider taken for strike 1. Good crowd retention here at Cardines Field. Past the 9 o'clock hour on a Friday night. Burke from the set, slide step, 1-1. Fastball misses high.
Good crowd at the start of the game, too.
Yeah. Yep, there was a lot of energy. You know, as it gets later, a lot of the crowd, families, younger crowd, so maybe around bedtime. 2-1 pitch. That one lifted shallow right behind home plate. Harvey trying to get a beat on it, and he can't catch it right behind home plate near the stanchion. And home plate umpire Dave Bailey didn't really know where it was. He was kind of in the way of that. That'll be 2-2. Would have been a tough play anyways because it was right against the stanchion there.
Yeah.
A couple of times that Harvey's had a similar foul ball hitting that area.
I mean, that's a tough fly ball for any catcher regardless of the surrounding area, but the fact that you have so limited space to make a play makes it even tougher.
Burke is just one strike away from getting out of the inning. We'll come on that one as the curveball misses outside, so a full count here to Resk. The inning was led off by Hodges. He doubled down the right field line. Uliana struck out swinging, then Turner reached on the error from Dalton Reed. MacArthur with the sacrifice bunt scored Hodges. Now a 3-2 pitch is lifted into the infield. Right up the middle will be the shortstop Lumgren, who settles under it, reaches up, and makes the catch to retire the side. But Ocean State adds one more on one hit. They leave one runner on. It's 9-4 as we head to the home half of the 8th right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Getting right down to it here in Newport, Rhode Island. 9-4. Waves with the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They got one more off the sacrifice bunt from Liam MacArthur. It scored Garrett Hodges, who led off the inning with that sharp double down the right field line. Newport trying to hang around here. They'll have to face Joe Kelly, the new arm for the Waves.
Joe Kelly making his 12th appearance of the season with Ocean State. That's the most on the team. Pitched just 2 days ago, back on July 11th against Danbury. Went 2 innings in that game. Didn't give up a single hit. Struck out 3 over 7 batters faced.
He appeared in the game at Newport. 11-5 win for the Waves.
That was back on June 29th. Went an inning and a third. Gave up a hit, got the save. Faced 6 batters, struck out 2.
He will face Harvey Pluin Gonzalez. 6, 7, and 8 part of the Newport lineup. He was good the last time he faced the Gulls. Got a 5-run lead to work with as that one is hit up the middle on a line. Shortstop Smith going to his left, makes the throw across to first, and it looks like it hit off Harvey's helmet. English couldn't glove it because it was a little bit off the mark, and as Harvey was going towards first, it looks like it hit him possibly in the helmet, possibly in the shoulder. He will be safe, but it's taking off his armor there. See Smith going to his left, has to make the off-balance throw. It's down the line, and yeah. It's right off the helmet of Harvey, but he appears to be okay. That'll be a single for Harvey.
Boy, we've seen a lot of scary plays tonight.
Yeah, it's been bizarre. Maybe that's the word that we use for tonight.
I don't know. The Waves had a game a couple nights ago. That was actually the game against Danbury that I think takes the cake. The Waves were on top 6-1. Danbury used three different pitchers in the first inning. Starter only went 2/3 of an inning. Quincy McAfee led off the game. Had 2 plate appearances in that first inning. Got hit by a pitch twice in the same inning. And then the Waves ended up losing 11-6. Gave up 10 unanswered runs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a game where the first 2 innings lasted an hour and a half, and the game ended up finishing in under 3 hours.
None of what you said just makes sense.
No.
That's the crazy thing.
I mean, none of what I say ever makes sense.
Oh, boy. Dave Peck alongside Jonah Karp here. Bottom of the 8th inning, Game 5 of the Pell Bridge Series between the rival Gulls and Waves. Logan Harvey being checked on to make sure he's okay. The throw from Smith hit off his helmet. That is what we're working on right now. Coombs is out there as well. I'm not sure who he is talking to. Could be somebody in the bullpen, perhaps. But everyone's just kind of standing around there. And it could be John Mazza, the bullpen catcher, who's coming out. Most likely going to pinch run for Harvey. It could be a straight switch. He also may just be coming down because he will go into the game behind the plate in the top of the 9th. He goes straight to the dugout there. They're still looking, make sure he's okay. I mean, the helmet certainly absorbed some of the impact, but it was a hard throw. And he's looking at it right now to see if it's cracked at all. Nine to 4, your score. And yeah, Harvey will come out, Mazza will come in to pinch run. So that'll be a straight switch. Mazza will go behind the plate to catch the top of the 9th. Will go down in the book as a single for Logan Harvey, a leadoff one at that. First time that Newport has had its leadoff man on since Gethings was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning. Final attendance here at Cardines Field, a nice crowd, 2,577. On Newport Daily News Night, 250 kid t-shirts were given away, courtesy of the Newport Gulls. Those who remain looking for a comeback from the Gulls. Dylan Plew digs in. He had the solo shot his last time up in the 6th inning. Facing Joe Kelly for the first time. Takes a first pitch strike on the inside corner. So Kelly, kind of a 3/4, maybe a little bit lower than that on his release. Wouldn't quite say submarine, but definitely a side armor.
Almost like a 3/4 of the way submarine pitcher.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. And the changeup misses low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just kind of whips his right arm around.
Definitely can induce a lot of ground balls that way. Working from the stretch. Lets his right arm dangle a little bit. Now it comes to the set. 1-1. Hit on the ground right side. That'll get through and into right field. Mazza stops at second as it gets a little bit behind Hodges. And now Mazza will advance all the way to second. The throw is cut off. So now runners on first and third with nobody out. Hodges just fumbled it out there.
Hodges is the last guy you'd expect in the outfield or possibly any position to misplay a ball at his position. Usually a surefire right fielder. He's really the only guy who's played right field, the only position for the entirety of the season.
It was not that hard hit. It was a bouncing ball, and yeah, he just boots it, goes a little bit to his right. And neither Mazza nor Plew saw it right off the bat, right when it hit his glove. But our runners on first and third, and an opportunity here for Jason Gonzalez. Swings at the first pitch straight back to the fence, 0-1. Gonzalez singled in the second, line shot into left field. He ended up scoring as part of that 3-run home run by Tim Tawa. Struck out swinging in the 4th and then flew out to Liam MacArthur back in the 6th. Here's the 0-1. Hit on the ground, left side, high hop, diving Smith to his right, goes to second, and he's able to get the force. What a play there by Cullen Smith. It was a hard hit on the ground, has to go to the dive quickly, gets up and throws it to Ward, who is covering second base. Mazza does score from third, so it's 9-5 Ocean State, but boy, was that a good play from Smith.
Wow. That took a hard hop at the end.
It skipped up like it had some topspin. Very difficult play, very athletic play from Cullen Smith to get the lead runner, besides Mazza, who did score. So Plew is out. Gonzalez reached on the fielder's choice. And Blumgren takes a first pitch strike. One down in the inning. 4-run ball game now, bottom of the 8th. Blumgren batting in the 9 hole. Kelly working from the stretch. Here's the 0-1. Hit on the ground. Shortstop Smith underhands it to second for 1. A relay from Ward to first is in time. A 6-4-3 double play gets Joe Kelly out of the jam, but the Gulls get 1 more off 2 hits and cut the lead to 4. We'll head to the 9th inning, 9-5. Ocean State on top, trying to win their 4th matchup against the Newport Gulls. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll head to the top of the 9th inning. 9-5, Ocean State on top. They have been consistently scoring throughout the ballgame, something they have done frequently in the last week and a half or so. And we have a pitching change here for the Newport Gulls. It is Nate Ryder, the crafty right-handed, hard-throwing pitcher out of Bryant, and he's been the guy for the Gulls late in games. 1-0. Win-loss record, 1.88 ERA in 13 games, 10 hits, 4 walks, 17 strikeouts, 14.1 innings pitched, and a league-leading 7 saves. He's only given up a run in 1 game so far this season, and it was on June 29th in that 11-5 loss to the Waves. They got to him. 3 runs off 4 hits. Newport came into the top of the ninth, just trailing by 1. It was 6-5. Ryder gave up the home run, but he's looking to keep it close here. Still a ball game, 4-run deficit for the Gulls. It'll be English, Smith, and Ward, 2, 3, and 4, due up in the top of the ninth to face Ryder. John Monse is behind the plate, replacing Logan Harvey, who was hitting the head on a throw from the shortstop, Smith. Ryder from the stretch. First pitch fastball, fouled straight back.
Man, Colin Smith looks unbelievable over at the shortstop position. The third shortstop they've used this season, the Ocean State Waves. LT Struble, Quincy McAfee, and now Colin Smith, only making his second appearance at the position. You wouldn't know it from the 2 outstanding plays he made.
Ryder comes to the set. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses high, 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, even the one that was hit off Harvey's head, that was a great display of range up the middle. And, you know, he almost had him had the throw been a little bit accurate, but that's not a routine play by any means. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. And English went around for strike 2.
All right, that led into the Superman dive. That was just an unbelievable play, unbelievable defensive effort.
To be able to react after, I mean, he had started diving almost before it had taken that big hop. It was crazy. Changes direction midair. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Hit on the ground weakly. Right side. Second baseman Gething moves to his left. Scoops it up. Fires it to first. 1 gone.
And also starting that 6-4-3 double play.
Yep.
I mean, he's been involved in plenty of double plays this season. He's started in 13 games at second base, 11 games at third base. So he's been involved in a number of double plays, but it's a different ball game, if you will, when you're at a different position.
He certainly answered the call. You can see McAfee coming out in the 5th inning. Not sure why, but Colin Smith has done a great job. Here he is batting and fouls it straight back.
I mean, you don't want to speculate. The one thing we could point to is when he tried to make an athletic play, diving behind him on a ball that was over his head in shallow left field. Could have hyperextended his elbow. Of course, we don't want to speculate, but...
Final stat line for Burke, 3 1/3. 2 hits, 1 run. It was not earned, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. Another strong outing. Nice slider there from Ryder. Drops in, catches the outside corner for strike 2. Burke continuing to impress after a little bit of a rough start to the season. Here's the 0-2 from Ryder. Fastball upstairs. They check down to Ben Robluski, but he did not go around. So it'll be 1-2 to Smith. He had the solo home run in the 1st inning. Grounded out to Reed in the 3rd. Then a nice sacrifice bunt in the 5th. That set up that 3-run inning for the Waves. Struck out his last time up. Now behind 1-2 here to Ryder. Already 1 down in the inning. The pitch. Breaking ball fouled towards the Newport dugout. Nine to 5. Waves on top. They have dominated this head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
The 11-5 score is a little bit misleading, as it was 6-5, just a 1-run game. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball waved and missed for strike 3. Nice job there from Ryder. 2 up, 2 down here in the 9th. I say that, but I also say that, you know, knowing that to be able to put up 5 runs in the top of the 9th, you don't just shoo that away. That goes into, you know, how this Ocean State team has been playing. They earn those runs, and it showed that they're going to put the pedal down all the way to the end. They're going to stomp on the throat of all their opponents, and that doesn't mean that it's a close. I mean, 11-5 is 11-5 no matter what inning they score those runs. First pitch to Ryan Ward. Hit on the ground towards Ryder. Gloves it. And underhands to first. A 1-2-3 inning for Ryder. It's 9-5 Ocean State on top as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Gulls. Down 4 right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 9th inning. Ocean State 9, Newport 5. Top of the lineup, Tim Tawa, Jack Gethings, and Cody Hosey. Due up here. They try and claw back into this one. They will face Joe Kelly, who had a nice inning last time, was able to work after the 2 leadoff singles get the 6-4-3 double play. First pitch swung on, hit on the ground, hard towards the third baseman. Dana gloves it, strong throw to first, 1 down. So a hard hit ball, but right at Dana, made the nice play. We've seen a lot of those balls kind of skip up here, a lot of topspin, but good reaction from the Waves infielders.
And Casey Dana has been consistently the third baseman for the Ocean State Waves. Only him and Colin Smith have played the position, aside from Michael Turner, who had a start there as well. But Casey Dana plays it with the best of them. That's why they call it the hot corner.
1 down for Jack Gethings. First pitch misses low for ball 1. You know what you're signing up for.
That's right.
Left side of this infield, though, for Ocean State. Spectacular in this game, that's safe to say. 1-0 pitch, slicing down the left field line, it'll get out of play. Newport 13-16 coming into this game. Tied for 4th with New Bedford in the Southern Division standings. 3 games back of the Waves for that final spot in the NECBL playoffs. Still 14 games left as that one is rolled over. Easy ground ball to the pitcher, Kelly. Underhands to first, 2 quickly down. We mentioned for the Waves to be able to pick up 1 full game on the Gulls and stretch the lead to 4. 14 games left, still a good 2 weeks of baseball. Anything can happen, but we talk about mental fortitude. We talk about the mental state that the Gulls could be in after a week like this, and it hasn't really been going their way. 1-4.
And the Waves, meanwhile, entering the game, 5 of their last 6 have been victories.
Hosey launches the first pitch into center field, but right at MacArthur, who makes the catch to end the ball game. Your final score from Cardines Field. Newport drops this one 9-5. They fall to 13-17 on the year. And now 4 full games back of the Ocean State Waves. The Waves, on the other hand, now 16-12. And they continue to roll. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the full post-game show coming up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. So Newport drops its 3rd straight and falls to 1-5 in this long 7-game stretch. Not the way they wanted to take on their rival Ocean State Waves, but right off the bat it was Colin Smith with the solo home run at the top of the 1st inning. He made life difficult for Holden Powell, and he made a lot of plays when he moved to shortstop. Final stat line for Powell, who picked up the loss: 4 2/3, 6 hits, 8 runs, all of which were earned, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. Jerry Burke came in and did a very nice job keeping this game relatively close. 3 1/3, 2 hits, just 1 run. It was not earned. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. And Nate Ryder did what he does best: 1 inning of scoreless relief. But, you know, it was a pitching staff for the Waves that was very effective. Miller, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. He picked up the win. LaFleur came in, 2 innings. He gave up 1 run on 2 hits, no walks and a strikeout. And Joe Kelly, 2 innings, 1 run, but that 9th inning, he just mowed down the Gulls. 1, 2, 3, and they really didn't have a chance as they went down quickly in the game. Offensively for Newport, it was Tim Tawa with the 3-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning. He was 2 for 5 on the night. He also had a single in the bottom of the 1st. And Dylan Plew with his first home run of the season, that came in the bottom of the 6th. To kind of chip away at this lead, it was a solo shot with 1 down in the inning. Newport was able to get 1 more in the bottom of the 8th. But that was not enough for an Ocean State Waves team who scored 1 run in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 1 more in the 8th to take this lead and now improve to 4-1 head-to-head against the Newport Gulls. Complete game for the Waves, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, much like the last one, albeit it wasn't as spread out as far as the score from the Waves and the score from the Gulls. This one, it was a hard-fought game throughout, and you know, it was relatively close, a 4-run difference, 9-5 the final. But Ocean State getting the job done pretty much right off the bat, and I think you could say it was hard fought because there were a lot of scary plays in this game. Also a big storyline I think we have to talk about, and possibly the most impactful thing that happened is something we didn't necessarily anticipate, Quincy McAfee exiting the ball game on something that's still undisclosed.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. You know, we saw a lot of chippy plays here, not between the teams, but just the ball bouncing in weird places. And now the Waves are just 2 games back at the top spot. They are now in second in the Southern Division standings. Newport is in 5th, 6 games behind the Pilgrims in 1st. And they are a good 3.5 back of the Schooners, who now hold on to that last spot in the NECBL Southern Division. Newport falls to 13-17, their 3rd straight loss. Ocean State improves to 16-12. Final score once again here from Cardines Field. Ocean State 9, Newport 5. And Jonah, as always, a pleasure. This is the last time you'll be at Cardines Field, which is unbelievable. We'll be back to face Ocean State. We'll head over to Old Mountain Field on July 21st for the final installment of the Pell Bridge Series. Can you believe that?
Can't believe it. Summer's going fast, man.
And the tie can come off now, finally. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the week. 17-1, Ocean State wins on Monday, 9-5 here on Friday. Jonah, thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
For the rest of the post-game report, we'll send things over to Newport Gulls field reporter Joe DeLeon. Joe?
Thank you, Dave. So we're going to take a quick look around the scores that occurred in the NECBL. We touched upon the game that occurred in which there was an 11-inning no-hitter pitched for the Valley Blue Sox 4-0 victory over the Sanford Mainers. Upper Valley Nighthawks ended up getting the victory over the Winnipesaukee Muskrats. Not much of a surprise there. 5-1 victory. Keene Swamp Hats barely snuck out with the 3-2 win over the Mystic Schooners. And then the North Adams Steeplecats were able to finish off the Plymouth Pilgrims 7-5. And finally, the game that is still underway in the bottom of the 8th, the Danbury Westerners are now trailing by a score of 9-0. So just a quick recap of the game and how things turned out statistically. Tim Tawa, who had 2 hits and also 3 RBIs, was the main factor of production. He had a solo home run, as well as Dylan Plew, who additionally had a solo home run. But the biggest cause of concern continues to be the starting pitching, as Holden Powell went 4.2 innings and also gave up 8 earned runs and only managed 3 strikeouts. So Arm, who's now joining me, it seems like we keep talking about the same things over and over again. It's starting to get redundant. All we're talking about is lack of consistency from other guys in the lineup hitting, and it's always 1 or 2 guys that always put out all the production, and there's always a problem with whoever's the starting pitcher, whoever it ends up being that second relief pitcher. Going to the pitching first, what do you think that they need to do? And I feel like we keep talking about this, but what do you think that they need to do to fix it?
Well, it's pretty hard to paint a broad brush with all of the starters and all of their struggles, but the one thing that's really stood out to me is that for the most part, when all of these Gulls pitchers are struggling, they're falling behind batters early. You have to give in to a hitter if you're falling behind. They're jumping on the fastballs, and that's the problem. And I talked to Coach Coombs a couple games ago about what makes a pitcher in this league great, and he said you locate if you can throw 1 pitch for a strike, you're only going to last a couple innings. If you can throw 2 pitches for a strike, you'll last a few more. If you throw 3 pitches for a strike, you'll be in business. And the problem is most of these guys aren't having success throwing 3 pitches for a strike.
Well, like you said, the pitching, again, continues to be a struggle. And like I was talking about earlier, though, the hitting, it seems like that every game there's a different guy that has a big outing. Well, it's good to see certain guys different times having big games, but we're not having consistency across the board. Is there certain things that Coach Coombs should be doing in order to help his guys get into a better rhythm?
Well, the big thing is situational hitting. They're leaning on the home run too much. We look at 4 out of the 5 runs scored today are from the home run. They had the same issue a game ago. You got to be able to manufacture runs. I think Coach Coombs should be trying to play a little more small ball, base hits, bunts, steal, move guys over, and that's how you got to play. That's baseball. That's how you win games, especially in the NECBL. You can't be leaning on the home run all the time.
So the season is slowly starting to come to a close. We're getting into that home stretch finally. We're at the end of July almost, and we're about 14 games left. What do you think is the thing that needs to be emphasized going forward for this team if they want to finish strong?
Well, every game becomes more and more important as you wind down the season, and as we see now they're falling almost 4 games back now out of the playoff spot. Your pitchers set the tone for the game. Your starting pitcher sets the tone. If these starting pitchers are coming out and the Gulls are behind early in every single game and playing catch-up, it's really hard to win that way. And we're going to send it down to Dave Peck to conclude things tonight on the postgame show.
Thanks, guys. Once again, your final score here from Cardines Field. Ocean State 9, Newport 5. The Gulls dropped their third straight. They are now 13-17 on the year. They'll be back in action tomorrow in the 7th game of this 6-day stretch when they take on the Danbury Westerners at Rogers Park in Danbury, Connecticut. The Gulls will be back at home on Monday when they take on the Plymouth Pilgrims, who currently lead the Southern Division standings. For everyone here who is part of the broadcast, our executive producer, Tom Lima, Shannon Carlson was our producer, Rob Sanchez was our associate producer, Nick Bello, our audio technician, our on-site engineer was Dan Byford, with RM Layton, our social media coordinator, Andre Olivia, as always, our statistician, Joe DeLeon was our field reporter, and for the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Jonah Karp, I'm Dave Peck, saying so long from the city by the sea.